everybody. Let's get it going. Karen, can you get off the phone with 12? Get this Self Love Show
Silverback
on the
More
road.
Growth and Development platform.
Appreciate you.
The Self Love Show, giving you more than vitamins and minerals. Food for your soul, information and plans integral to making your mind grow. With more growth and development, BS is irrelevant to the intelligent. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is what we represent. It's the Self Love Show, the Self Love Show, the Self Love Show. We do it for our people. Self Love Show, it's the Self Love Show, it's the Self Love Show. To expose and no equal. The Self Love Show, the Self Love Show, the Self Love Show. Tory Wordsmith, 9 Mills. The Self Love Show, the Self Love Show. You know how the story go.
It's the Self Love Show.
It's the Self Love Show.
Y'all heard the man. It's the Self Love Show in the building. The views expressed in today's pod are those of the host, the guests, and are not necessarily reflective of ESPN, TATN, or any affiliates.
It's the Self Love Show.
Welcome about another riveting episode of the Self Love Show. Right here on this Ain't.The network, affectionately called TATN. Yes, sir. This is a spot where we dive extremely deeply into the intersection of mind, body, spirit, soul, consciousness, and this one's for culture. This is one of the co-hosts, 9 Millie. All praise to the ancestors, the most supreme, high, and last but certainly not least, my earth, my late beloved Mama Sky. I feel you every eternal moment. In today's digital age, YouTube has become a breeding ground for culture vultures. Culture vultures. Cats profiting off cultural expressions oftentimes without contributing to or respecting their origins. These parasites borrow from copper culture, adopting its language, fashion, and music, dances, etc., inventions to boost their popularity, get their bag, often without genuine engagement or acknowledgement of its roots. These vultures' success isn't just a reflection of their own tactics, but also a broader system enabling and rewarding cultural exploitation. At the heart of this phenomenon lies a paradox within our bronze consciousness. The very influence and creativity that shape global trends also fuel the platforms that allow culture vultures to thrive. Many copper creators and audiences engage with, validate, or critique, as we're doing now, these parasitic figures, sometimes unintentionally amplifying their reach, while we are banned to the shadows, the dark side of the moon. Whether through support, criticism, or indifference, the presence of these opportunists speaks to a deeper conversation about ownership, viability, and gatekeeping in these digital spaces. This episode shall break down the top 5 YouTube personalities, in our opinion, that we've labeled as culture vultures, in our opinion, allegedly, analyzing their impact, strategies, and the way they manipulate cultural narratives for personal gain. We'll examine the patterns that make cultural appropriation profitable, and we're going to discuss how these creators navigate backlash while maintaining their status. They're not the only ones getting a bag. Dare I say, YouTube itself is profiting. The goal isn't just to call them out, but to uncover why this cycle continues. Who benefits? Who loses? And what can be done to shift the dynamics? Culture vultures didn't emerge in a vacuum. They thrive within a racially biased system shaped by his story, media, and the audience's responses. In tonight's discussion, we'll challenge the listeners to rethink how bronze consciousness, influence, and engagement play a role in shaping who controls cultural narratives. Is there a way to reclaim the power without unintentionally perpetuating the cycle? It's a loop. So let's chop it up. So whip out your self-love vision, your 10 hats. This is the Self Love Show, and this is the revolution. The revolution will not be on YouTube. These are lessons, not lectures. We're live in living color. Today is Tuesday, June 3, 2025 at about 7:09 in the Shy. As always, you cats can be anywhere in this magnificent God's creation. But thankfully, we all chose to be here together. Here together. Chi-town, bear down, bear down, bear down. What down, brother Wordsmith? What you manifesting today, bro?
Love, man. You know me. I'm manifesting love. What you manifesting?
Ditto, good brother. Love, man, pure. Some say harsh, some say tough, right? But I can assure you, it's self-love just the same, bro.
No doubt, no doubt.
Hey, what's been up on your neck of America, KKK, since we last popped out?
Today is upper 80s. So put those blicks away. Please put the blicks away.
Oh yeah, you get that weather, boy. The blicks will come out tomorrow. Take your last dollar when the blicks come out. I gotta give it Yeezy. You know what I mean? I think he's already done that song though. The Annie remake he produced for Jigga. All right, y'all. Yeah, man, we getting a little rain out here, believe it or not. It's been kind of cold here today, man. Windy, Chi-town weather, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
It got windy today too. It's tripped out today. Anyway, it's just tripped out. I'm like, start off at 60s, and I'm driving, delivering, and on the way back, I'm like, okay, it's 80. And go inside the job and do some more work and come out 88. What?
88 was a good year.
Then the wind picked up, bro. I was like, oh,
Man, they didn't call it the city of wind for nothing.
That's for sure.
Y'all look up HAARP, HAARP. It's an acronym. Stick your head down there the rabbit hole. Have some fun with that. There's science out there that can manipulate the weather out there, and it's been proven. All right. They used to call
five of those machines on the planet.
Yeah. And they used to call that a wacky conspiracy theory. We've been meaning to do all the wacky conspiracy theories that turned out to be true. We need to lay that out for the culture, bro.
Yeah, because it needs to be pointed out. Because once it comes true, they say, "Oh, well, this is true," but they don't apologize. They don't go back and say anything about it.
Nothing. You could tell them another wacky conspiracy theory coming. You know what I mean?
And they'll say you're wacky conspiracy theorist again.
Yeah, I don't believe it until 1090 Jake come out there and tell me about it. I got to hear it from Vlad TV. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how they are, bro. I got to hear it from Fox News Network. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we know them people.
Yeah. All right, what to expect on today's The Self Love Show? We always kick it off with the Self Love Show quote of the day. And then we follow that with our very short More Growth and Development platform video. Tune out, tune in. And then, of course, first off, I want to say, rack up, y'all. Chi-town, stand up. And then tattoo tyranny. All right, we do have some tattoo tyranny today. That's where we watch our government interacting with the people who pay them. And we'll let you know if it's kosher or if it's tyranny, right? Tyranny could lead to anarchy, people. And then, of course, finally, we got our dome teaser, and it's already pinned in the chat. I believe Brother Wordsmith is taking a stab at it, and he is 100% correct. If you think you know the answer, type it into the chat. We'll let you know if you're warm, cold, or not. And then today's topic, top 5 culture vultures on YouTube. They're all over the place. All right. We're singling out YouTube. This is a platform we utilize, but they're all over the place, and we're going to get into that in a moment. And the black consciousness, that's not copper colored or bronze. It's the black consciousness that perpetuates it. And then we wrap it up with my personal favorite part of the whole show, and that's where Brother Wordsmith pulls gems out of the ether. It's like he's pulling stars out of the Milky Way out there, and then he matriculates it through his avatar, puts it back out there to us so that we can all absorb it and stop pretending that we're separate. When we should be one. Do stick around for that. Any announcements there, brother?
We're a week closer, ladies and gentlemen. Best Festivals presents
Midwest Fest.
Ancestor Echo.
Echo. Goes.
Yes, y'all. Man, get your tickets there. Going fast. Promise you.
Facts.
Extremely beautiful cultural situation.
100%, 100 million trillion %. And I know people think I'm wacky. There's a lot going on out there. There's limited light pollution. Telling y'all, if you get with it, you just tune in. Those ancestors, you can feel them. You know what I mean? They'll pop out for you if you're not scared, right?
Especially if you ask them.
That's all you got to do is ask them. And don't punk out like I did once they popped out. Whoa. Yeah, I punked out. I got to stop doing that, the punking out part. All right. All right, today, y'all like, share, subscribe. Please like, share, subscribe. And anybody in the chat, if there's any culture vultures out there, maybe some of the mods of these culture vultures will pop in. Alleged culture vultures, we should say, in our opinion. If anybody has anything to say, this is totally interactive. As Brother Wordsmith was put in the chat, that helps the algorithm because they like to keep copper colored in the shadows, and then they like to push forward the culture vultures. For instance, Brother Wordsmith could create a dance, and he can go on TikTok and do it, and he'll probably get 400 views. And then he drop dead gorgeous to get out there, do that exact same routine, and get millions and millions of views.
4 million.
Somehow, some way. Y'all do support Midwest Festivals, presents Ancestral Echoes, y'all. It's a glamping music fest where they're playing quality music. All right. Some of your best DJs that you're ever going to see, and they're all just putting forth their best effort. And you won't regret one penny or 1 millisecond of your time that you spent in that endeavor.
Man, it's an amazing experience.
But you have to what?
Be there.
You got to be there. Yeah, you got to be there.
Speaking of that, next week we're gonna have a crew on, right?
Yeah. We're doing Ancestral Echoes 3.0. They're gonna pop out, and we're gonna give some firsthand accounts and things of that nature. And y'all pop up for that. And then we got Trifo. Should be the week after that. Return of the Mac.
Woo-wee!
Yeah. And if you find yourself in South Central or in Southern California, I should say, Tay Mills Aesthetics, licensed, bonded, insured, multicultural skin, body, and weight loss pro. All right. I'm going to put that link into the chat. It's www.taymillsaesthetics.com. For anybody, you come to the coast on vacation, maybe you live out here, you got somebody who's already out here, have that in your mind's eye and tell them the Self Luv Show sent you, and you can mess around and get a discount. Bella B Designs, you want to get you a nice shirt, personally made, sweatshirt, t-shirt, Get your swag put on there. You might want to get Midwest Fest or something like that on it. Festivals on there, something like that. Reach out to Bella B Designs. That link has also been dropped in the chat. Tell her you were sent by the Self Love Show. And last but not least, gym recovery. You find yourself in a snowdrift out there in the rack, and you need a toe. Okay. You might have 10 toes, but you might need one extra toe. Reach out to Gym Recovery and tell them the Self Love Show sent you so that you can get a proper rate. That's pretty much what I got. Enough of my yapping. I'm going to turn it over to Brother Wordsmith so he can handle his business.
Yo, yo, yo. Let's go. As you know, we are breaking down top 5 culture vultures on YouTube and the Black consciousness that perpetuates it. As always, we have a very important video I need you to check out. The Silverback More Growth and Development platform, which we're building the Self-Love Nation off of. And as always, for that, we have the Self Love Show quote of the day. I'm a culture vulture, and I just want to experience it all. Once again, I'm a culture vulture, and I just want to experience it all. That was Deborah Harry.
Yeah, she's a leader of the lead vocalist of Blondie, the band Blondie. She's culture vulture. Yeah.
Yeah, that's trip because things means some other things out there. What we had out there? Where we going? What
Yeah,
happened?
I don't think she knows what words, because vulture, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Well, according to whatever, it meant something else.
I know, but vulture, you know what I mean? It's feeding off the dead.
Yeah, I mean, whoever made it, when they made it, it was interesting criteria, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Free Larry Hoover.
Here we go. Silverback More Growth and Development Platform. Number 1, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number 2, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. And 3, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influences. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, to provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen. Number 10, protect our women, children, and men by any and all means necessary.
Thanks. Protect your neck out there, y'all. Topic, Dreams Decoded. That was last week. Fascinating stream of consciousness, huh, fella?
Oh, amazing. That man, I advise you to check it out. Check it out.
Yeah, fam. And we ran a poll, Noop. 90% of the respondents believe that bridges are a bridge to the other side or to the other realm, like a wormhole out there.
Dreams?
Yeah, dreams.
Yeah. You said bridges are a bridge.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, dreams. Dreams
Yeah.
are a bridge. Yes.
Yeah.
I was one of those that feel that way.
Yeah. It's interesting. I didn't know. I thought most of the goyim would be saying, yeah, it's just a wacky experience your mind does to get you through the night. You know what I mean? Or what science says. Yeah, but y'all watch it and you'll see what we unpack, and then hop on that poll. Speaking of poll, bro, who's the biggest culture vulture on YouTube? That's what we have up. I'm gonna put that link into the chat. If you haven't already chimed in, just click on it, pop out, vote right quick, and then pop back in. So your first option is Adam 16 from the major platform No Jumper, um, aka Adam 12 is what I call him, bro. Point and shoot
Adam,
calls, huh?
you said Adam what? Adam 16?
Oh, my bad.
Adam
I hope I didn't
22?
put that in the poll. Yeah, point and shoot calls him Adam 16 because he allegedly had relations with 16-year-old minors, allegedly.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, so point and shoot calls him Adam 16. And I got caught up. Y'all subscribe to Point and Shoot classic content. He's the sheriff, bro. He be on their ass. But it's Adam 22, aka I call him
Okay.
Adam 12. Yeah, I'm not gonna call him Adam 16. I think that's disrespectful because I don't have the evidence. But Adam 12, like cops. I think that fits him perfectly. And then we have Trap Lore Ross. Now he's a Brit. He's a Brit. He's the British version of DJ Academics, I'd say.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and he's all into the Chicago drill scene.
What?
Oh yeah, bro. He's getting millions of views with his documentaries, pointing out who murdered who and who did what. Uh, oh yeah, AKA MI6. Okay, it's the only way they can do this, and nobody puts a hot one in them. You know what I mean, Self?
That's crazy.
And then we have 1090 Jake. Some have been calling him 1090 Snake. I've been using 1090 Fake. Now this is a young man who went to jail. I think he did a minor petty crime, stole something out of his family house, I believe is what it was. And allegedly he's been snitching. According to him, he was big time, only white blood when he was in the joint. Ah. Yeah, according to him. All right. So I call him AKA Jake. A lot of people refer to, I think these coincidences are fascinating. A lot of people refer to police officers as Jake, and he comes out with the name 1090 Jake. So he's the one who
Yeah.
somehow pulls all the paperwork and exposes everybody as snitches.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Now I know who that is. I didn't know his name.
Yeah. This is 1090 Fake. I'm rocking with y'all and y'all rocking with me. And then he stack them up too, like the G's D's. You don't stack them up like the brothers. Then he's stacking them and everything, bro. It's just, I don't know. And then we have other. All right. And if you can think of anybody else, click on the what do you call that, Self? Comments, and drop your comments in there. And myself and Brother Wordsmith will let you know what we said, what we voted for in that particular poll. We need this data, right? So,
Yes.
yeah, greater data, and that it's important. It's very important. All right, y'all, support Midwest Fest, man. We got Ancestral Echoes coming. It's around the corner, bro. Like, get there. You know what I'm saying? All
Yeah,
right.
what's today? This is the third. 17 days, y'all.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? 17 days, y'all. Today's topic, top 5 culture vultures on YouTube and the black consciousness that perpetuates it. Before we go there, bro, did you see Free 12? Free 12.
Uh-oh.
CBC. Free 12.
Uh-oh.
Free 12. I mentioned this to you, but it's a while back, a couple shows back. Been meaning to run this. Free 12, fair use. Yeah, free 12, free the guys.
3 former Memphis police officers were acquitted on state charges today in connection to the killing of Tyree Nichols. Nichols was a Sacramento native, and the city even named a skate park after him. He died after being beaten when he ran away from a traffic stop in January of 2023. In the 7-day-long state trial, the defense argued another officer was responsible for most of the violence. Prosecutors said the officers had a duty to intervene. Following the verdict, the district attorney spoke about the Nichols family reaction to the verdict.
Obviously, they were devastated. I think you could imagine that they would be devastated. I think they were outraged, and I think we can understand why they'd be outraged.
The officers were already found guilty in a federal trial last year and are awaiting sentencing. 2 of them have also pleaded guilty to state charges.
Yeah. So the Fed charges, your boy Donald Trump's gonna take care of those.
That's yeah, sick and tired of all that.
Yeah, that's why we don't run these that much. Sounds like a gang, though, man. I would like one case, where they take a chief of a police department and charge him with federal racketeering and running a criminal enterprise. I would like to see that once. How about you?
Yeah, when they doing stuff like this. I mean, how all of them get acquitted if one of them did most of the damage? He wasn't part of those
Right.
group,
Right. That are part of the same gang. Exactly. Exactly, bro. And you got Diddy on trial, and
I mean,
nobody else.
This is just more proof that the police are not protectors of the people.
No, they're protectors of themselves
and the establishment's property.
You see how they come out there with quivering lips when one of them fall, and all the police manpower they put into solving it and everything. It'd be really nice if they did that for every average day John Q citizen. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, it should be doing it for everybody.
I mean, yeah, it's just business as usual. Like they literally don't care. But then when it's one of theirs, they come out with the quivering lips, and we're going to bring these people to justice.
We're gonna make them pay.
Yeah. All right. Tyranny.
Yes. Absolute positive. We're gonna give them a double dose out there.
So if you agree with us and you think it's tyranny, give it a thumbs down or put a capital T. And if you don't agree with it, just put a pig in the chat. Right? Just put a pig in the chat if you don't agree. And everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I had a teacher used to tell me opinions are like bum holes. We all have them and they all stink.
I don't know where they all stink come from, but
Yeah, I used to tell her I wash my ass. You know what I mean? Know about you. Yeah, she was pink. All right. All right, we got another one for you before we get on topic, y'all. But today's topic, top 5 culture vultures on YouTube and Black consciousness that perpetuates it. Pink crime. We got a Chirac Savage. DJ Academy. Fair use. WGN.
Good morning. Well, police say that they have linked 5 cases to this suspect. He was arrested after landing at O'Hare Airport last Friday. He made his first court appearance Monday afternoon.
These women survived something that was horrible and terrible. And it's something that they will continue to live with throughout the rest of their days.
Authorities are announcing 18 charges against 36-year-old Shakib Mansour Koda, originally from Algeria.
Today, the city is safer.
In court, prosecutors accuse him of sexual abuse,
18?
assault, kidnapping, and choking. They say video and DNA evidence links him to the crimes. The first 2 reported cases happening in May and July of 2022 in Palmer Square and Lakeview. Prosecutors say the July assault happened when the suspect, who is a limo driver, offered a ride to an intoxicated 21-year-old woman trying to get home. Then in January and February of this year, 3 more cases, all near or in Logan Square. In at least 2, he is accused of holding a knife against the survivors' necks. According to his public defender, Koda has no criminal history and lives with his wife in Chicago's Jefferson Park neighborhood. Police and prosecutors believe there may be other victims. They encourage survivors of sexual assault to call the Chicago Rape Crisis Hotline.
This man was a violent serial predator who literally went out hunting for his victims. It was only through the dogged police work they didn't give up. They kept investigating for 3 years, and they found him.
Coda is being held without bond. He has been ordered to surrender his passport. He will be due back in court in late April. Live outside Chicago Police Headquarters, Angelica Sanchez, WGN News.
Wow.
18, bro. Riding around. First off, any young lady or young man out there, don't get into random cars. I don't care how drunk you are or how nice the car is. Huh, fella?
Or how nice the person is. I'll give you a ride.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's pink. I can trust him. 18, bro.
That's crazy.
And you'd have to believe there's more, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's beyond crazy, bro. It's beyond crazy. And you know, and they call us savages.
Well, you know.
Was he a Azanaxi? He's from Albania. Isn't that one of those eastern up mountainous shithole countries, according to Donald Trump?
He wasn't talking about those.
Yeah, okay. He wasn't talking about those shithole countries.
No, he was talking about the ones with the dark skinned people.
Yeah, the ones that they're taking all of the resources from and not paying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. All right, y'all. Top 5 culture vultures on YouTube. We're doing this for culture and the Black consciousness that perpetuates it. Today's riddle, the dome teaser. Your mind is awful if you let it lay fallow. You know, you may end up rolling around in a limo attacking 18 innocent people. So train your mind, you know, monitor your thoughts. And here we go. I feast on trends, but none are mine. I mimic voices. I steal the shine. I thrive in spaces I don't create, yet claim the crown and seal my fate. Man, that's ominous, boy. Seal my fate. Wow. Yeah, who am I? So that's it. Brother Wordsmith has solved it. Bro, man, I forgot his name. He's a GD from Shy. Because 1090 came out there and called your boy Larry Hoover snitch. And
Yeah.
yeah, he came out there and said, bro, you might as well throw gasoline on your body. You know what I'm saying, bro? Messing with them GDs like that, bro. I know a lot of guys who didn't like GDs, and I don't remember nobody just disrespecting Larry Hoover like that, bro. I just don't remember that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They everywhere.
Ask Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? And all he did was said, they called me Big Meech Larry Hoover. And I remember I heard that song, Zeph. I was like, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because we from there.
And then he already stole Rick Ross' name.
They call me Jeff Ford. Larry Hoover. Man, that would have went over well in the Shy, boy. That would have went over very well. We'd have got the attention we needed. Yeah. Wow. Whew. All right. Enough of the appetizers out here.
Let's quench the self-love nation's thirst.
All right. Well, we don't have a video here to play. And then when we get to halftime, skip that video and go to the next one. So this is why we do this show for situations like this. You know, we don't tend to pile on the copper colored, right? There's enough platforms doing that. Many of them are copper colored and bronze colored platforms. We don't tend to do that. There's enough of that to go around. So the purpose of this show is to stand up for cats like George Floyd, rest his soul. We're copper colored first. We don't hate. We just realize that the copper colored we have knees on our neck and we're at the bottom. So a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, allegedly. And so we're pushing for the copper colored. And then we do it for promote the More Growth and Development Program. Brother Wordsmith and Karen ran that video for you. And then we're here to chronicle our story as opposed to his story. And we do it for the progeny, those coming behind us. And if there is reincarnation, those coming behind us can in fact be us. I even heard that, we may come back and be pink. And if you're pink, you come back copper colored. That would be an interesting thing. Universe, I come back, I choose to be copper colored. If I got any say in it. All right, top 5 culture vultures on YouTube and and the Black consciousness that perpetuates it. Today's show is being brought to us by Midwest Festivals Presents Ancestral Echoes. We're gonna pin that link. Replace pin. That link has been pinned in the chat. All right, so go to the top, shop with your people, and it's also brought to you by Tay Mills Aesthetics, multicultural skin, body, and weight loss pro. All right, bro. Let's jump into a little background of this, man. What is a culture vulture? Because according to the lead singer Blondie, she's a culture vulture and she's damn proud of it.
Well, when I looked into the term, traditionally it referred to somebody who was excessively enthusiastic about the arts and dealing with the culture. Modern usage often describes individuals or organizations that exploit aspects of a culture, especially one they are not a part of, for personal gain, without genuine appreciation or respect.
Okay. That's accurate. I just wanted to look up vulture, a large bird of prey with the head and neck more or less bare feathers, feeding chiefly on carrion and reputed to gather with others in anticipation of the death of a sick or injured animal. 2, a contemptible person who preys on or exploits others. So I don't know how that could have ever been that initial definition, ever. They just use it because it rhymed. But Brother Wordsmith is right.
Oh,
Go ahead.
all these definitions change over time, bro. So they switching them around so they can keep us really, really confused as to what they're talking about when they're talking.
Keep us ignorant. He's right. A culture vulture is a person who adopts elements of a culture for personal gain without proper respect or understanding of its origins. The term is often used negatively as it implies exploitation. This ain't no exploitation, rather than appreciation. Culture vultures frequently profit from trends while ignoring the deeper historical and social significance of the culture they borrow from. I don't know. I don't know if the $5 Indians, we're in speaker view. So, if you say something with your camera off, it's going to show your TWS. But would you consider some of the $5 so-called $5 Indians culture vultures out there?
Yeah, 100%. Because I mean, they have their things that they do. I guess that's their culture, but they have appropriated
The rituals of the
indigenous.
Indians, yeah, and then well, you could say that the so-called Jewish have done the same, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. At least they kind of say it when they say they're Jewish.
So they don't say Indian-ish, huh?
Mm-mm.
That's a
They
good point.
calling them Native Americans now, so that let you
It's
know
a
that
lie too.
it's a distinguishment.
Can culture vultures, in your mind, bro, be from the same demographic that's being exploited? Like, for instance, can I exploit copper culture?
Yeah, absolutely. And there are a lot of tethers who are they're not quite a part of the culture, but there's a lot of tethers that act like they're part of the culture and they profit off it. I mean, in negative, demeaning ways.
Yeah, and they literally might have a bigger vulture behind them, literally and figuratively, propping them out there. But that's a very good point. I don't know. I'd almost now you guys don't log off. I'm willing to say that Kamala Harris, in my opinion, people, is a culture vulture.
Absolutely. It's not just your opinion. I mean, she acts like she is part of the copper culture.
And she's washing her greens in the toilet. I mean, in the nasty bathtub. I'm sure you saw your grandparents, your big mama and them down there in the South. Toy, help us put these greens in the toilet. I mean, in the bathtub so we can clean them. I'm sure you remember that as a little young lad. You know, what you doing, Mom? I'm cleaning the greens for dinner in the bathtub that you just laid your nasty ass in. No, you have no recollection of that when you're in Theta.
No, there's no goddamn body cleaning their greens in the bathtub.
All right,
How
according to
many
her.
greens are you cooking and for who? What
Well,
army?
she said that
And
her
her
she
Indian family
claimed.
really loved those greens. Huh?
No, she claimed that all of her friends really loved her greens so much that they would call her and ask her to bring the greens and for big parties, and that's how she would do it. And I bet everyone who was at those parties now is gagging, aren't they, Self?
Probably not.
Uh, where did the term originate? Well, you kind of broke that down. Um,
1940s somewhere.
Yeah, it gained traction as a critique of individuals and industries. See, that's one thing we want to point out. This is bigger than the 5 people we're going to name.
Much bigger.
Yeah, it's been going on longer than these cats been living. Right. So what we're doing is kind of singling them out, like the way my man Chief Keef Sosa got singled out for all the violence on the South Side of Chicago.
Even after he was gone.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not saying he didn't, push a lot of buttons. I don't know if he did, if he didn't. I'm just saying they were blaming him for all of that. And I'm like, wait a minute. This shit's been like this before he was even born.
Right.
Yeah. He grew up in it. So the phrase culture vulture gained traction as a critique of individuals and industries that capitalize on cultural expressions, particularly for marginalized communities without meaningful engagement. While cultural exchange is natural, the term specifically refers to instances where someone extracts elements of a culture solely for personal benefit, often without giving credit or contributing to the community. And we're not talking about book bags and turkeys, people. That's not, they don't even do that, but they'll come out and do it after everybody gets on their ass, don't they, Self? They come out and apologize and try to do token. They made millions of dollars and yeah. Yeah, but they don't live in the culture. They won't live on your block. They won't even sit down at a restaurant in your neighborhood 9 times out of 10.
Right.
Yeah. Is this phenomenon new in the United States? Can you provide any historic examples if it's not new?
Um, its has deep historical roots in the U.S. One of the earliest examples is the minstrel shows, where white performers use blackface to mimic and profit from a copper-colored experience.
Yeah, great example.
And more recently, hip hop.
Well, before that, Hollywood.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
part of the minstrel show. But yeah,
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 all of that.
yeah. But then what were you saying after that?
the fashion trends and uh, mainstream industries take credit for it and act like they created something when they're following the copper colored out the app.
That's correct. Like, you know, we started wearing ones and white tees because the ones were like cheap, affordable. Just get you a new pair of ones every 2 months or so, every month, depending on the weather. And now ones is Nikes. Anything we like is always the most expensive.
That shoots right to the top out the app.
Always, bro. Go in any liquor store and find out what the new happening drink is for your bronze colored, and it's going to be priced higher. Newport menthols are always higher than the Marlboros and stuff.
Yeah.
Chicken wings. That was a Yardbird. It was slave food, and the so-called prisoners of war, I mean, slaves were, working masterpieces with chicken wings. The pink man used to throw that out. They used to discard that as part of the chicken. Now you go to the grocery store. What's the most important? What's the most expensive part of the chicken, Self?
Wing and the breast,
Yep.
the so-called white parts.
Yeah. The white meat, huh? But the wing, they used to discard that, bro. We was working miracles with it, man. Wings was cheap when I was a shorty, bro. I mean, my mom like, man, they charging this much for wings?
Yeah.
So to your point, music, fashion, entertainment. What about jazz and rock and roll, country music?
All of those music forms.
Yeah. Beyonce is making a country album. I mean, like, yeah, we started all that, don't you know? Well, I don't call people fool, but right. But somehow we don't get credit for that.
For any of it.
Rock and roll. Elvis Presley.
Yeah,
He
right.
was he was hanging out with the Church of God in Christ and people like that, down there in Memphis.
Plagiarizing
All the dance moves.
Presley.
Yeah,
Plagiarizing Presley.
yeah. All of the dance moves. He was plagiarizing all of that. Had ghost.
What's that dude's name? He stole his whole style. What was his
No.
name? You had a
When
video on him. Ah, man.
yeah, when you think of it, yeah, he yeah, yeah. He didn't come up with any of that. All right. And they taught him all that, choreographed his stuff, had ghost writers. And then he became the king of rock and roll when Little Richard is the king of rock and roll, should be, you know. But this is just what we're talking about, vultures of culture. um Allegedly they propped him up there. They told, because they saw the African Americans, going on, American Bandstand, and all of the pink girls Google-eyeing them while they were shaking their thing on the stage. And they said, oh, we can't have this. So they had to get some white performers to mimic what we were doing. They just didn't put them in blackface. So allegedly that's what that was all about. But I think it had to do with the money too. So he's the king of rock. Okay. And I predicted that Eminem would be known as the king of hip hop another 30 years from now. Go ahead, so.
Well, I mean, that's probably going to be in effect because he's known as the highest selling artist ever.
Mm-hmm.
So that they're gonna, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So longer than that, 70 years from now, the copper colored be hard pressed to remember that we created hip hop. I mean, if you'd have told somebody back in the day that would happen with country music and rock, they would probably said, you're a wacky conspiracy theorist.
For sure, for sure.
And who's the person you was thinking of? You ain't find it?
No, but they said that he drew inspiration from Little Richard, Chuck Berry, Fats
Yeah.
Domino, and Big
Yeah.
Mama Thornton. But the
Yes.
person I'm talking about is they sang the same song, and I mean
Yes.
he took the whole. The other dude did the song first, and
Yes. I think I know which one you're talking about. It was probably Jailhouse Rock. Had to be, because I can't imagine a white dude really singing about the jailhouse. You like that? You know what I'm saying, Self? Like, no.
yeah.
Yeah, hip hop, streetwear. Copper colored creators have shaped global trends only to see, quote, end quote, outsiders adopt their styles, sounds, and slang for mainstream success. I've often said that, Self. I'll be in the office and somehow white folks can use slang terms. They're usually using slang terms from like 3, 4, 5 years before. But when they use them, they're saying it's hip and relatable. But when you do it, you're ghetto, and you can't use those words in the office.
Well, hairstyles, they'll tell you that you can't wear your hair like that, but then they can come in with that exact hairstyle, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
fine. It is fine. It's
yeah. They'll tell the sisters they can't wear this skirt or came wearing that, and they can wear the exact same thing. You know what I mean? They had a desert foot. Look up camel toe. Do your homework on camel toe. They do all that. Walk around the office. Nobody says nothing. But let a sister come in there with a natural body, and it's a problem. Yeah. So this pattern has persisted across industries with corporations and influencers profiting from bronze innovation while sidelining and keeping the originators in the shadows. This has been going on in America since the end of so-called slavery. Today, we're covering top 5 culture vultures on YouTube and the Black consciousness that perpetuates it. That's what we're on today. Um, All right, one more before we take a short hiatus. What do you think drives YouTubers to become culture vultures?
likes, subscribers, and monetization.
So you think these people who we're going to name roll out of bed at some point and say, I'm going to sexually assault the culture just for money?
Yeah,
Fame and attention.
all of the above.
Has to be something else going on too, not denying that. Because there are some who are not copper colored, and there are some who are copper colored who don't approach it that way. Do you know what I mean? There are some who seem to have some respect for culture. You know what I'm talking about? There's some who can talk to me
And
about
those
jazz.
we won't be called culture vultures,
Yeah,
and they're not
true.
in the same lane as these people that
Yeah, true.
we're talking about.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Many YouTubers adopt elements of copper culture because it's profitable, influential, and widely consumed in mainstream media. This appeal of Black slang, music, fashion, and aesthetics allows creators to gain traction quickly, even if they lack real engagement with the communities behind those trends. The digital space rewards virality over authenticity, making cultural appropriation an easy shortcut to views, likes, and sponsorship deals. Saying that's sponsorship deals.
All money related.
Yeah. Yeah. See, these big corporations. All right. Say if we were a communist society and everything was owned by the government, those sponsorship deals would be coming directly from the government. And we'd have no problem calling the government racist or exploitative.
I think if we were in that type of government, there would be no sponsorship deals.
Why not?
Because the everything, all the profit is coming to the government. There's no need to sponsor these people.
I don't know. It seems like some people are getting rich in communist countries. Putin's one of the richest guys in the world.
Yeah, and he runs the government.
But he's got underlings. There's businesses out there. McDonald's is in there.
Yeah, but I don't. You think they running McDonald's commercials in Russia with the? Think they're doing that?
I don't know. I don't know how their influencers get. I don't know what an influencer in Russia is.
Or is there such
Dot.
a thing?
Or
That's
in
my.
China.
I don't know if that's even such a thing. I don't think they can do
Well,
that.
China invented TikTok. They got influencers on TikTok.
Their TikTok and algorithm is completely different. It's
Yeah,
not.
that's a good point.
It's not.
Yeah, it's a good point. You can't be on there just yapping, huh, Self?
Yeah. You're not doing this out there, and then they're gonna be like, "Yeah, we're gonna put a sponsorship deal behind him." No.
No, we're gonna shut that down and throw
Yeah,
his
you can
ass in the
say the wrong
gulag.
thing, they come and sell your organs. At least from what we're told here, because I don't know if that's
At
true.
least from what we're told.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So
Yeah. But what people don't realize is we're all headed towards that. You know, they think the AI and the robots is only going to take the menial jobs. Ooh, 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 ooh.
the AI been running shit for 100 years.
The Self Love Show, the Self Love Show, the Self Love Show.
You know how the story go. Yes, y'all. Y'all know how the story go. How we get down. Today, we're speaking on culture vultures. And on YouTube, specifically. And what perpetuates their whole existence. We had some interesting conversation. About to get deeper into it after got some entertaining videos for you to check out. You know what? We'll be right back at you and expand the conversation. The social programming, man, is off the chain, and we witnessed it. You know, we got to see it firsthand. You know, I often say that hip hop went from having fun to scholars to selling drugs to thugs to doing drugs
and to literally drive-by mass killing women and children in the neighborhood. Like, that's okay. Killing the elders, shooting up the block, that's all good stuff. To drug raping, all of that stuff became the cool thing to do. And then the mass materialism, and that kind of started during our era.
Yeah.
You talk about all these brands. I didn't know nothing. We didn't know nothing about half these brands that you could copy at Macy's and Nordstrom and all of that stuff. If some rapper hadn't told us about it. You know what I mean? So then the next step, if you ain't got a job or you don't have the means to get it, then what you gonna do to get those goods that we couldn't afford? You gonna sell drugs. You gonna do what you gotta do to get that stuff.
You sounding like this shit is the wheel or something, like it's gonna change the world.
Look, man, I don't know about all that change the world shit, but what I do know is that they be going crazy over this, man. I'm telling you. And the bitches, oh Lord, the bitches, yo, they do anything for this.
Moses fleeing the people from Pharaoh.
Right, let my people go.
40 years in a desert.
Manna.
Let's talk about what manna truly is. And
The Aganoski's in the Middle East right now saying manna is Peter.
can we put some sensibility to
Manna
that?
is power.
In the desert, and our Father, the Creator, loves us beyond. He's gonna rain down bread in a desert. Moses summoned the strongest men for them to dig, and that's where the whole term of so it is above, so it is what?
Below.
That means that Moses had the science for them to dig and find water.
Yeah, like the elephants can do.
So what do you find, even in a desert, when you dig down and find water? Do you find bread or do you find plants?
And not more fall to the mind. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Amen, brother. And the people said amen. Yeah, give us some examples of something that may have happened to you or you've experienced. And then I know you are deep in your book, you're deep into prayer, your connection, you have this relationship. First, what happened? Give me some examples, and then how do you discern? How do you know if you're dealing with something that's psychiatric or something that's demonic?
So, first was my experience. So my first experience was my very first experience with demonic possession, or let me say attack, was myself. I literally have been getting closer to the Lord in some spaces, and I literally had a moment where I woke up one morning when I had to preach at a church. I knew the sermon, I prepared the word, I knew the church intimately. And in the midst of that, I woke up one morning and I found myself unable to move. And so, I pulled the same thing that, all of us good old Christians pull, say the name of Jesus. So first I was like, Jesus. And when I got ready to let the word out, then the demon took my breath. So the only thing I was able to do for me was actually do sign language and spell the name Jesus. So when I got the last S out, I was released.
Wait, so you were doing like drawing the characters?
No, I was JESUS. I'm sign language ASL. So I'm doing that. I'm trying to hit the two middle fingers in the palm to say the name Jesus. When that happened, I was released, and I was like, "Yo, that's crazy." And when I got upstairs, I had red scratches around my neck as if he was holding my neck, trying to strangle me. And I felt temporary paralysis. And so, everybody talks about, oh, that's the body. It's in between the state of sleep and da-da-da. I was like, okay, then explain the scratches on my chest and then around my neck. And they was like, well, maybe you scratch yourself in your sleep. I have a nervous tick when I was younger. I bite my fingernails to their butt fingers. So I can't scratch myself with butt fingers. So long story short, I didn't believe none of that. I knew what it was. My second occasion.
When I was 11, particular time I was going to the store, one of my siblings' birthday. I came out my building and I looked to my left. I saw this little boy giving a command to a black pit bull. And I seen an old lady and they were like kind of creeping behind her. I'm looking like, what is that boy doing? Gives the command, get him. Grab the pocketbook from the old lady, the dog, and they take off jogging. And they pass by my building. I'm standing there watching the whole thing. And because of no entertainment, like real entertainment, I was like, what? Like, wow. It was the fact that he connected with the dog and was able to, the dog knew exactly what he was telling him to do, was so intriguing and like amazing to me. But so I'm looking like, wow, who are you? Like, and he looking at me with this smirk like, you better not say nothing.
Man, I thank you guys for inviting me on. Thank you. Great format, very solid. It don't have that low budget movie feel. You know what I'm saying? And we get that a lot in the Black community, for real. Like people look at us to be fuck ups. They look at us to be low budget. They look at us to be ignorant, stuttering, and use a whole bunch of and all of that. But no, they got the real deal on here. That everybody know who Torian Mills is, baby. They know.
Hey, well, bro,
They're so ignorant. Man.
Hey, but this platform's your platform. This platform's my platform. From Inglewood, California to
the
Chicago,
South Shore.
Crazy thing about it.
This platform is
made for you and me.
It's made for you.
The crazy
and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. I was trying to get out the end of the preamble. But go ahead, bro.
Yes, y'all. Don't stop.
Know how the story go. It's the Self Luv Show.
Self Luv Show rocks on. We're back. Weren't them some great edutaining videos? Amazing. Hey, the producers at TATN, they do the damn thing, don't they? So we're back.
It's the Self Luv Show.
Top 5 culture vultures on YouTube.
We do it for our people. It's the Self Love Show. It's the Self Love Show. It's the Self Love Show. To expose they don't equal. It's the Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. We wordsmith 9 mil. The Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. You know how the story
Yes,
goes.
sir.
Self Love Show.
Yes, yes.
Great, great, great ditty. That is a great ditty.
Huh?
That's a great ditty, man. That's what the word means, bro. I can't help it if that guy took that name. You know what I mean? It's a ditty. Here's a little ditty about Jack and Diane, two American kids growing up in the heartland. Jackie's gonna be a hip hop star, and Diane's gonna be small in Jackie's car and say, "Oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone." Got to remake that, bro. Oh yeah, Mr. McVeigh is working on a diss record, bro. He said he's on 1090 Jake's ass. I can't wait to hear this.
Uh-oh.
I cannot wait to hear this.
Uh-oh.
Man.
He's
oh.
He's about to snap.
Oh. All right. How does black quote unquote consciousness, we'll get into the white consciousness, why it contributes. How do you think black consciousness contributes to the cycle? Because I know I'll ask you certain things. You were like, yeah, I don't watch that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, go ahead.
Well, the black consciousness means death, as far as I'm concerned, a dead zone.
Facts.
And it perpetuates death and dishonor. So dishonorable people are propped up.
But how do you think our community is involved in this loop?
There are people who, I don't know if I consider them part of our community. But that whole portion of people that get excited and encapsulated by that, it's a whole, it perpetuates darkness and bad results. That's what they promote, and that's what's achieved by the people who take part of that.
Yep. That's what I was thinking too, bro. Like, okay, for instance, we've got, X number of viewers in this right now, maybe 5 in this live. We'll read a title this, Diddy is terrible and why Diddy should go to jail, or, put Bill Cosby, Diddy, R. Kelly. If you did something like that, you'd have 1 million people in the chat chiming in.
You can put it right out in front of them, and they jump right on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's bigger than that though, because like, say for instance, Hassan Campbell. And for anybody who doesn't remember, he's the guy, I think he was 19. According to him, he was a killer, a serial killer even, in Bronx River. He was putting that work in, moving them things. He was known. And according to him, I'm not going to say he allowed African Bambaataa to put baby oil on his thighs and, manifest his thighs. But his platform, for instance, Self Love, I always had reason to believe there's no way all these people in here are copper colored listening to this BS, right? I think there's a level of white supremacy that props those guys up front. They love to hear when we throw each other under the bus. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
Right?
does. There's also probably a lot of bots and a lot of that stuff too.
Agreed. It is. But like, for instance, it's what Kanye's dissertation is with the HH song and all of that. I was watching, I forgot what it was, No Jumper. And every other word out of their mouth was the N word. Adam 22 didn't utter it. But I've been saying, Self, we've got to start calling each other Hymies because we are, if we are the original Hebrews, if you believe that, then the slang term, and Jesse Jackson got in a lot of trouble for that. Why can they say the N-word, which is what Kanye is talking about, and we can't sit here and get a podcast full of, so-called Jews calling each other Hymies? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah, because they don't call themselves Hebrews; they call themselves the Jews. So, you know, they are. Well, reason why is the the top person at YouTube
oh boy,
is one of those people. So you can't do that. They're not going to allow that. A lot of the top people in the music industries are those people. So they're not going to allow that. You can't do that. And they promote the other word, though. They
this
do.
guy sounds like wacky Kanye West.
I'm just telling you what the truth is. I mean, if you look up who runs YouTube, I mean, I'm just saying.
Joe Rogan said it.
And
You know
who
what I mean?
runs right,
Hollywood.
who runs,
Yeah.
most of the movies and TV
Yeah.
and
Banking.
news. Yeah, news, yeah, I mean, there's 7 companies that own most of the media and they're all run by, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Copper-colored bronze culture is constantly evolving and setting new trends, but mainstream platforms often reward the outsiders out there more than the originators or the OGs. When copper-colored audiences engage with culture vultures, whether through critique, exposure, and or even ridicule, we inadvertently contribute to their visibility and success. It's a paradox, bro. The paradox is that while Black consciousness recognizes appropriation, the conversation itself, like what we're doing here today, can sometimes elevate the appropriators instead of pushing real cultural ownership, right? Which is the whole point of this show. We don't tend to do this. So, and I'm gonna get into this towards the end, bro. You know, the biggest video on this channel is a drill pill. It's got close to 300,000 views. It's the one with Twister. And it's got 1 million comments. And the reason being is because people were saying there's no way that was I can't think of the young rapper's name that did that. He was in diapers. You know what I'm saying, bro? It's like we could put up a video with misinformation, and the fact
right.
that people are coming there corrected it and like you guys are
Yes,
cap and
yes,
blah blah blah.
yes,
That video
yes,
does more and more and
yes,
more.
yes. That is a tactic
Yes.
used by a lot of these people.
Yes. So since I'm not, I don't like to think of myself as a culture vulture. I went on there and pinned a comment like, "Hey, no way are we suggesting that that was him? Like, I'm from over there. Like, obviously, you know what I'm saying? We're just paying memory to this young brother, in this drill pill. Watch the other videos, you'll get to understand it, and then now it's less comments and now it's not doing the same. Had I just not put that there and just let people keep, oh, you guys are crazy. You guys ain't nothing. Y'all, that video was blowing up, bro.
Yeah.
But in my spirit, I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? That guy's got a family. You know what I mean? He's got friends. You know what I mean? I had to make it very clear that no one was suggesting that. If you watch the whole, all the drill pills, you understand. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't matter. Cass was going hard, bro. And you know me. Give me a reason to treat you. Trolls get hoes, boy. I be treating their life. I be using yours. Somebody tell me, yeah, you need to wake up. I was like, you need to drink a big cup of STFU and sip slow. You know what I mean? I be on their ass, bro. You don't come in there with your little smug, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah.
No one
Yes.
cares.
Yes.
The meals bills over here.
Hey, yeah, that's right. Why do some culture vultures thrive despite the backlash?
Because they say, there's no such thing as bad publicity. So if somebody's saying your name, good, bad, or indifferent, they're saying your name.
Controversy.
Don't, you know. Don't.
Controversy. Yeah, controversy sells, man. My grandmother even told me that, if ain't nobody talking about you, something's wrong. Because I was complaining, like, yeah, they be on my ass, grand. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, if they not talking about you, something's wrong. I don't think she respected the Goyim. She loved him. I don't think she respected him. Yeah. Rest up. But yeah, so to that point, bro, public criticism doesn't always lead to accountability. It often leads to more views, controversy, driven engagement, and even financial gain. Many YouTubers who have been labeled culture vultures use the backlash as fuel. They'll double down on their content self, make more content on it, while framing themselves as the victim, misunderstood, or unfairly attacked. The system rewards consistency. And as long as audiences keep watching, apology tours and rebranding allow them to maintain influence. Sounds a lot like DJ Academics. Sounds a lot like DJ Academics.
It also sounds a lot like the orange guy, 45 and 47.
45.7. That's what I've been calling him. Yeah. Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, he gonna run again. And if he runs again, then Obama is gonna get pulled out of the woodworks and we can have the showdown and get my popcorn. We can have the showdown in America that we need to have. Obama against, and there's no way Trump will lose that election and not send his people to go burn down the White House and rub poop all over. There's no way. Because I believe, and I predicted the last 4 elections, Obama would kick his ass, especially now. I think whoever they put up there now, except for maybe Kamala.
If it's a legitimate person.
Yes. Yes. But that's how they do, Self.
No,
and it's never going to be,
they're the same. They're the two wings of the same bird, two sides of the same coin. That's always planned.
It's brilliant, actually.
It's all been planned.
It's brilliant. All right, what role does big corporate play in promoting these culture vultures there, fella?
Well, I mean, YouTube plays a huge role in it because it pays them.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
And
Gives them bots.
They get sponsorship in other areas and all that. So those are corporations too, generally. Yeah, they play a huge role.
Are they paying, bro? Like, I know you've probably noticed this. One of those bigger platforms, they'll post a video and you might be subscribed, and I'll be like, okay, I don't want to watch this one. And at least 6 times a day, I get an alert on my phone that they've posted a video. You know what I'm saying? Like us, when you tell people to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell so they get the notifications. That's what I'm talking about, the notifications. Right. Our video go up. You're lucky if they send one notification, but they do. They've had problems. But those bigger platforms, I don't know if they're paying for that, bro. They send me a notification like every 1 or 2 hours.
They stay on. Well, I don't get the notifications, but like when I'm, going through videos or whatever, and it'll be a stock of videos, and I go all the way down or whatever, and I don't like none of those, and I hit the thing. Certain videos come up every time I hit.
Don't they?
Yes.
Even if it's been posted 3-4 days ago and you keep ignoring it, it keeps coming, and finally I'm like, all right,
Yes,
I'll watch it
because it won't get new stuff. That stuff will
Correct.
still be coming up.
Correct.
And sometimes it's months old.
Yes.
Like, why does this keep popping up?
Yes. It's gonna force me to watch. Yes.
Yeah.
But you could click
and
supposedly you could
not
click
interested.
recommend less. Yeah, but it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. Not
No.
interested. Does not work.
No, it doesn't work. But a big corporate though. America's was founded on corporations. The founding fathers, wanted big corporations to be in this position therein.
Huh? What kind of nonsense is that?
But big corporate, bro. Are they culpable, and if so, how? In your mind?
Well, like I said, they finance it, so they're 100% culpable. They allow it to exist and they promote it. They put all kind of commercials in it and all that, and get paid off that. Yeah, they're completely
Okay, so you raise a good point, right? And they're probably looking at it like, okay, DJ Academics is getting 400,000 views per video or 1 million or whatever, so we can go ahead and advertise on this platform because we're just trying to sell goods and services, right? But then at the same time, bro, I mean, they could say to themselves, I don't want to have anything to do with this type of content, and I don't want my brand on it. But that doesn't seem to happen as much until the people start complaining.
No. The only time they care about that is when they're talking about the ish people.
Yep.
100%. The only time that happens.
100%, bro.
They don't care any other way. They don't care. Hell, what the Soros was selling ain't that Soros that was selling? Or was it Bezos? Bezos was selling the video that got Kyrie in trouble.
Mm-hmm. The video and the books on his platform.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So I mean,
yeah, it's somehow because and those platforms that you're putting that on, they're benefiting off of it in itself.
Yes.
So it's less likely that they'll say, hey, stop that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Right? It's less likely because as long as people are watching it, they're going to promote it.
Man.
But it's a loop. I can't think of the name of the loop I'm looking for. It's a vicious loop. What do they call it? Self-fulfillment loop. Not it. I can't think of it. But yeah, brands and media companies monetize cultural appropriation by platforming individuals who bring in high engagement out there. Even if their content lacks authenticity, advertisers follow the numbers, not the ethics, meaning that profitable trends, regardless of how they were sourced, dictate sponsorships, partnerships, and mainstream viability. True representation only happens when bronze creators are prioritized over diluted imitations. Top 5 culture vultures on YouTube and Black consciousness that perpetuates it. That's what we're covering here today. And y'all click on that link that's pinned in the chat. Support Midwest Festivals. They're presenting they do a great job. I mean, when you get to the facilities, you're out there in nature, but there'll be plenty of fresh water. It's well set up. Lights all over the trees at night. Beautiful, 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 beautiful trees out there. If you want to hug a tree, you can. If you want to smoke a tree, you can. It's a lot going on. Drum circles, bongos, fire dancers, all type. Well, they'll be covering that next week as well. All right, bro. So let's go ahead and get to the content that everybody's here for. And even those top 5, had we listed their names in the title, more of their followers would have been popping in too, and their supporters.
Oh yeah, and trying to shut us down about it.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they would, complaining about every word coming out of our mouth. Yeah, saying we're going against the YouTube. And that's another thing. They be talking about YouTube community guidelines, and I'm watching all this crap, and I'm like, wait a minute, right? So
And this satisfies the
yeah.
guideline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Madness.
All right. So list some copper colored YouTubers, not the top five, that jump out as potential culture vultures. Because again, no one knows what's in anyone's heart. So these would be like special mentions. I'll give you one. What's that little bastard's name? He's copper colored from Texas. Damn,
Oh,
You know,
Willie D.
There goes Willie D. Nah, but we got him coming up. No, Willie D. I wouldn't call him a culture vulture, bro. But
I wouldn't either.
but he means well.
He said little nigga from Texas.
Texas, yeah, he means well.
And be out talking those stuff.
What's that guy name, bro? He's supposed to have been a Crip. He started on Vlad TV.
Charleston White.
Yeah, Charleston White jumps out to me as a culture vulture.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, definitely
on purpose. Like this.
Oh yeah,
character he's playing it's a character, because before that the dude was trying to go politically correct and do things all through the system and all of that. This is a character that dude is playing, bro.
Self, when I first heard that dude, I even sent him I sent you one of his videos. I'm like, man, this is the best conversation on, you know what I mean? And then he went from that to,
because nobody liked it. Nobody loved him. Nobody gave him any love or anything for any of that. So he said he was going to expose himself in a different way, and all these people love that bullshit he be saying. But he sneaks some of the other shit he was saying while he was bow tie and dressed. He sneaks that stuff in. So you be like, damn, this dude makes some sense sometime, but goddamn, over here he talking about some complete bullshit.
Yeah, I haven't been able to listen to him after a while. Like when he started, sometimes it's just straight disrespectful.
I've not listened to anything lately, so I'm just saying.
But he did get his channel got kicked off of YouTube. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean,
he only goes on other platforms and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it should, because he says a lot of shit that's like, wow, on purpose. He's saying it on purpose. He knows what he's doing.
Like a shock.
Yeah, I mean,
but why can't you say that shock stuff about white folks? Because it's not going to trend?
No, because they're not going to put that out there. You're gonna, they don't promote that. They don't promote copper colored people talking about pink
white
people.
folk. They just don't. You're right, bro.
They don't promote that.
They don't. They don't.
No, there's nobody that's blown up doing that, because they control all of the venues.
Mm-hmm. The algorithm is a lie, huh?
Absolutely. It's programmed. It's not no natural thing that happens or whatever. They make a program and make it happen.
It's interesting. His last name is White.
We would blow. Yeah, it is.
Ain't it? Yeah, he's like a Mr. Ruckus. Who else, bro? Hassan Campbell jumps out. Yeah. Same thing with him. When I first heard himself, I'm like, all right. He was talking all the Muslim stuff and, and was saying stop the violence. And I'm like, okay. Bro, the next video, I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, unsubscribe now.
Yeah, I'm 17, and he said he was going to grease up my thighs. I mean, he didn't have to do it in my butt.
Yeah, they got a picture of him at that same time, hugged up with Bambada, and Bam, and he pointing at Bam. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Was that before or after or during the thighs? Did he thigh you right after that or before that? You know what I'm saying? And was it just the thighs?
Before, during, and after.
Right. I mean, I don't understand. I grew up.
Did that make him a killer? I don't know.
No. He was Poppy. He was known as Poppy. You know what I mean? And he came out you know, as the his whole thing, so if you go all the way back, he came out as the victim of sexual assault, and everybody's like, oh, it's so brave of him to come out. But it was that he was tearing down a copper-colored giant. And that's why it went viral. If he'd have came out and said, I did that to him, nobody would have gave two shits. Am I correct?
Yeah, for facts.
I mean, it probably would have got about 500 views, but it wouldn't have gone.
Probably not.
I don't know. Somebody would have watched it. Like, wait a minute. You mean you had guns on you all the time? And again, I hate to throw Cozy out there, but that's like somebody doing that shit to Cozy, bro.
I mean, if he I don't think he's like that. So that's what makes that whole thing funny to me.
Yeah, I got what you're trying to say. I know what you're trying to say.
Cozy was like that, and this guy.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say. Yeah, Cozy was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got what you're saying. And if something had happened to somebody like that, to your point, when you were like, maybe that made him. That's usually something that happened to you when you're a lot younger and before you got your gun and right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And usually the first work you put in was that guy. You know what I mean? But yeah. Can you think of any other ones? I can't think of I mean, besides the ones we're gonna list here. I know we're not thinking of some.
I know we're not. I'm
special mentions.
Clear on that. Who else do we? I guess trying to think who else we talked about really about on those special shows that we've done on this.
Well, it was the ones on the list,
right?
Yeah.
They're on the list. So,
all right. Well, let's without further ado, you guys, we're gonna get to the top 5. Let me ask the wife to cut this heat down.
Yes, y'all. Ancestor echoes. Telling you, man, you come, be the time of your life. Promise you.
I agree. I had the time of my life. Wifey enjoyed it, y'all. You know, and it's what you make it. It's gonna be exactly, you know, what you make it. You know, you can bring your own Wagyu steaks and, you know, have your grill, like straight up. You know, get away from the city, decompress.
You know, bring your own food, make it so you know what it is and how it was made and prepared in the background of some peaceful land that's beautiful with outstanding sound system with incredible.
Oh, the sound, my God,
DJs.
Yes. The stage, magnificent.
Man, telling you.
I mean, it's top shelf, y'all. You know, again, I know people put on stuff and you know, you show up and you know it's all fat back and you're like, all right. But no, this ain't that, y'all. This ain't that.
At all.
You know, these
it's
guys
a very
are professionals.
Unique experience in the camping house music scene. It's very unique than anybody else that's doing it. And big ups to the ones that's doing it.
Yeah, I know y'all be putting work in it too, man. All right, so we're gonna start out. I'm gonna play a video here so y'all can be on the same page. This is number 5 on the top 5 list. Yeah. This gentleman, I think he's in the MI6. He knows too much. He'll have information even Old Block came out and confirmed. One of the guys was like, man, I don't know how he knows all this shit. Of course, he does a lot of research online and a lot of people are self-snitching, but they say some stuff that he'll speak on himself that there's no way he should have known that. But here we go.
Traplore Ross explains why he got the skulls on the King Von tattoo.
What was the inspiration got you to get the King Von tattoo?
It's funny, man. So I had one tattoo that I got years ago and it was trash. I never had any ideas. And I went back and forth. I was like, what
I mean, you can't tell me this guy's not a spook.
should I get? And then someone was like, what about a Von tat? And I was like, yeah, like, because not only am I a huge fan of Von, I listen to Von's music all the time. You throw Back Again on, I'm going crazy. Like,
how many skulls are on that tattoo.
Hey, you know there's 7 skulls on that tattoo, man.
Do you think it's disrespectful in any way?
A lot of people have commented that, like, oh, the skulls, this is too much. He's not King Von without the murders.
All right. That's
Wow.
one. Yeah. So this guy, yeah, man, if you watch the video he did, it was actually really good. He did one on Vine, bro. That went crazy. 4-5 million views. It was good. Man, he was breaking down shit. But we got another one. Hold on. And then one more, short one. And then we'll comment on Trap. His name Trap. And he ain't even from the US. That's getting me.
I interviewed Trench's News. He said that Lil Jeff tried to be like King Von. You think that's accurate?
100%. In a lot of ways, he surpassed King Von. You know, he allegedly killed more people.
How many people did he allegedly kill?
He claims 11.
11 people.
And the craziest thing is, man, him and his right-hand man Q50, who's still alive out here, God knows how. You know, Q50 claims to have 8 bodies. Jeff was claiming 11, but they would damn near update their body counts. You know, there was a famous Facebook post where Q50 like hopped online and he updated it, and he's like, yeah, got another one. We're at 7 or 8 now, or whatever it was. You know, Lil Jeff, he was on Instagram Live after he caught his last body, talking about, yo, it's 11 now. We up 11 now. We just went up another one. Talking about, they got guys that are on life support talking about, my 10th one's pending. These guys took the self-snitching about bodies to unheard of levels, to be honest with you.
What is it? What is it about white people or pink people being fascinated with Black death?
Well, that's the greatest thing that's ever occurred for them. I mean, to kill God.
Have God committing suicide and having it on video and being able to, this is like KKK's dream.
Yeah. The whole drill scene is really.
Yeah. Be able to sit on the internet and make comments. Damn, Brother Word Smith, man, the football team did that to you, man. You know what I'm saying? That's disrespectful. It's send you off and yeah, all the way down to your destruction of being in jail or dead.
That dude has like no respect. He said he's a big fan of King Von, but he's nothing without the murders.
Right.
Huh?
So you don't like the right.
I mean, I guess he's claiming that King Von had 7 bodies, the 7 skulls.
Oh, he is. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And he was saying that before Von had even got murdered, bro. Like you putting cases on people. But yeah, so he sits there. You notice all these guys are interviewing each other. You know what I mean?
They mixing their platforms, so therefore they can reach 2 others who don't mess with the other one. Makes it inclusive, and then everybody got, it increases everybody's fan base.
And you don't seem as bad when it looks like it's a bunch of people doing it. I'm not the only one doing this type of content.
Correct.
I mean, I hate to ask you this redundant question. So I could put on a fancy sweater and put on a goofy disguise like this guy does every time he comes out and talk about what's going on in the trailer park?
Nobody care. That's the difference.
Black folks definitely ain't gonna watch it.
Nobody's gonna watch. You probably get shadow banned, and you go live, and no one even knows that you're on.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, there's no murders going on in the pink community.
A whole lot. I mean, that's all you gotta do is watch First 48.
Mm-hmm.
We find them there.
Mm-hmm.
All those murder mystery. Somebody died and then nobody know what happened. Cold case files.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh, so many.
One thing I say about them, though, a lot of them, bro, no, I take that back. That's just the ones they're showing us. They come right in there and admit to everything, don't they, bro?
I mean, it be 20 years down the line, and they, they have no conscious karma been killing them.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole time they're ready.
Yeah, it don't be no pulling teeth, and then they'll snitch on
They're
everybody.
ready.
That's why they told me don't be doing business with the pinks, because boy, they gonna talk.
I'm just gonna say I don't advocate for anybody doing anything they shouldn't be doing, but if you're going to do anything that you shouldn't be doing, you do it by yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Do your dirt by your lonely. 100%. But yeah, that's Trap Lord Ross. He made the list. And he's got a lot of followers, bro, from London to here. And he talks about everybody. He's the one who put Lil Jeff out there. Oh, DJU TV. I think he might need to get a special mention too. At least he's from Chi. At least he lives in Chi. But a lot of people, oh yeah, DJU TV, a lot of people, I'll show him to you. A lot of people end up dead, bro, right after they go on his show. A lot of people, almost right after they go. He sits them down, asks them questions about murders and stuff. And the fact that you're from Chi, I almost think he's working for O Block, OTF. I think he's working for them. Because he came out of nowhere and started getting a lot of views, and he's copper colored. Let's see if we can show him to you. Oh, he ain't putting his face out there no more, huh? he's going full Vlad. They all at certain points up, they stop showing their face. Too late for that. Huh?
People know who they are, but like even Vlad, he go on other platforms. He was on CNN with when Jaguar Wright was on there.
Yeah, now he does. Yeah, but for a while, he stayed hidden.
During the interviews on his channel, his platform, he's off. He ain't on there. That's for sure.
Yeah, and he wasn't doing no other interviews at first for years. And I think he wasn't showing his face not for fear, but because he
somehow I knew what he looked like though.
Yeah, you probably seen him before, bro. He looked familiar to me. I just think he wasn't showing his face. Let me see.
I think in the long form he shows some
that we didn't really hear about on the.
Don't he look familiar?
Yeah.
I seen that dude around the shop somewhere, bro. He younger than us though.
Music scene is Lil B. Can you tell us about Lil B and what makes him so important to the drill culture?
Because Lil B was doing the shit that folk don't rap about.
So he'll be bringing up stuff like this, and when he bringing these people up, so they've been murdered or it's a case involved with them, and he get them talking about it. You know what I'm saying? And I find that irresponsible. So I'm gonna give him a special mention.
Yeah.
He brought shorties on there that's like 15, bro, and got killed the next day or a week later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and told on themselves, really.
Yeah. He don't have a heart. You doing that for the money, man. But this ain't about DJU. There's other guys. So let's get to the next one. One of your favorites, fella. Never comes to
Already up on that shit.
Never comes.
Whole thing going on here, and I'm
Because
looking. I'm like,
one of your
Hold
most
on.
favorite
We got
memories.
hold
with Lil B.
on. Too much going on. What was you saying, bro?
The DJ Academy.
Yeah, he calls himself a DJ, and he's not. And he calls himself academics, and he's furthest from that. Brilliant name.
a whole thing going on here, and I'm looking. I'm
think
like,
is
nobody
DJ
cares about this.
Academics
Though.
after
And
the
every time I would
brand.
do a video on
What brand?
The Academics. It's a clothing brand.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I never heard of it. All right, but here he is.
whole thing going on here, and I'm looking. I'm like, nobody cares about this though. And every time I would do a video on Lil Durk, Lil Reese, or Chief Keef, and also Fredo Sintet, they'd be like, "Yo, you gotta cover the whole thing." So I said this, and
They. He sees they, and you know what I mean? Who? Do you know what I'm saying? Stuff. I wish I could interview these people.
And again, now I'm so in tune with the audience. I'm like, yo, this is what I'm gonna do. You guys want me to cover dudes who, if I cover like, you guys might know who this is, but the rest of my audience don't. I'm gonna create a separate page, and it's gonna be like, imagine the newspaper. So you have front page news, and then you have like
the variety section.
Yeah, right. So I'm gonna do that shit, and I say, you guys support it if you're really into it. So I created the War in Chirac, and when I created that shit, I was trying to figure out how do I cover hip hop in this realm, because a lot of the things I did.
The hell does that have to do with hip hop? They kill me with that.
He's just full of it anyway.
All of them. No Jumper does it. You know,
they're not from here, so they do not understand anything about what
he's from New York, though. He should know about hip hop.
No, and well, I mean, no, he ain't.
I
don't know where the from this dude is from.
I think he's first generation something. His parents are definitely immigrants.
Yeah, he's Jamaican.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, so I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know what he even knows about hip hop. Is he even old enough to know anything about
no.
hip hop?
Didn't like. I was mortified by. And I said, the only appropriate way is to, I did it with satire. And for me, the hope was to make people see.
So he's mortified by it, and he satirizes people, children being murdered and young men being murdered. That was his solution. Satirize that. Satirize that.
He's an imbecile, so I mean.
You know, they should do a GoFundMe for a charity, you know what I mean, for his favorite charity, and whoever puts up the most, whoever wins the bid gets slapped shit out of him.
No, we just need, he needs to be in the slap machine.
Yeah. He said he won't go to Chicago.
So
he knows what he's doing is wrong. He's never set foot in Chicago, so.
Yeah, he shouldn't.
And says he never will.
He shouldn't.
How ridiculous this was.
Yeah.
A savage is a animal that is fierce, uncontrolled, and prone to violence. Mm-hmm. So when I see y'all were referring to yourself, and you know, most of the early terminology was saying that, I'm like, yo, they gotta be
out like t-shirts.
There was so me, and by the way, I'm not saying I'm right. So by the way, I'm also here to take accountability too. I started looking at shit. I said, yo, there gotta be levels to the savagery and the demonic shit.
Man, what's up,
but
everybody?
He don't
Welcome
see,
back to another episode of EOS.
He don't see the demonic stuff. He don't see his demon.
Well, most narcissists or narcissistic type people don't see themselves as a problem ever. So what they do is not what you do. And even though I told you something, you still the problem. Even though I, started the shit and said some shit, you were the problem. You made me say that. That's how those personalities are.
Yeah, you heard him? Double talking. But I'm here to take accountability.
You ain't took none.
None. And that's what the research is showing, that they come out double and triple talking, and they think they can talk their way out of it. Later, if they get all this money and they had a certain, stature and they want to pivot, you know what I mean? And they think somebody won't be on their ass because of these lukewarm apologies. Because he threw flame on the fire, bro. He threw gasoline on the fire.
Yeah.
And made it worse.
Yeah. And, satirized it, made jokes about.
Made people heroes, gave them names, Chirac this, Chirac Savage, this and that. Glorified it. That's what he did. Glorified it. And then some of the negative things, the name calling, like bro, he sounded straight like Mr. Ruckus, the way he would refer to Chicago young men. And it wasn't like the gang members. He was just talking about these Chicago niggas.
All Chicago.
Uh-huh. Yeah. 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 So DJ Wackademics is what I call him. What do you call him?
Academic.
All right. We got one more.
Every time I see him, that nigga act a dummy.
And he's whack as hell. Oh, another one. Whack 100. He gets a special mention. Big time blood from Pacoima, California, allegedly, according to him. Yeah, he's the one who I think is taking. No, he's not taking responsibility for the game, but at some point he became the game's manager. Yeah, so that was his claim to fame. And
I didn't. I guess it makes sense. No man, I didn't think he was a blood.
Oh yeah. I think the Bloods didn't think he was a blood
when I'm looking at it though, he mess with. I mean,
yeah. But when it's been I don't know the politics, but the Bloods say that don't nobody really know who he is, and that's a big problem. You stop all the hazing, you stop all the putting on. Everybody could just put on a shirt and say they're this and that, put on a color and say they're this and that. What happens is you don't know who the hell these people are, right?
I mean, yeah.
So I could be an informant and just pull up and just start hanging out with the guys. I couldn't have seen that happening in the 90s. So people had to vouch for you. When I came on the block, they knew you. So people, you know what I'm saying? People had to vouch for you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You didn't just come around and no. It's different now. They say you don't have to get put on, Self. But they locked up.
I don't know nothing about none of that. So
yeah, they locked up all the leaders and shit. So 1090 Jake. I've been saying he looks like Bobby Hill. Now the internet's picking up on it too. So his claim to fame, he went to jail, he did a petty crime, snitched. Then he snitched when he was in jail on the guards. No, he said, oh yeah, they whooped my ass in here. And then he cut himself, according to him, to get into the psych ward. He did a lot. So then when he first came out of jail Self, the reason his podcast is called End of Sentence is because, to your point, he was starting out. He wanted to talk about the atrocities of jail and have people tell their jail stories and stuff like that. I don't even, you know what I mean? Then somehow his ego got involved, and next thing you know, he was the guy exposing all the big name rappers and people for being snitches, pulling their paperwork. Same thing Whack 100 does. I don't know how that's gangster. Like, okay, for instance, Boosie. Boosie don't like snitches. Everybody knows that. But you don't see Boosie just going around, you know what I'm saying, pulling paperwork, and you know what I'm saying, and doing that, bro.
You ain't got time for that. You know what I mean? Who got time for that?
Yeah.
Except for somebody that got somebody else doing it.
Correct. And some of these cats could be informants, which is why the Italian mob didn't mess with cats like this once they got out of jail, because they knew 9 times out of 10 he probably got flipped in there. The guards probably told him, we're going to put you in there with those colors and they're going to make you their bitch. You know what I mean? But you could work for us and we can get you out. We can get you a big fat platform, huh, Self? You know what I mean? I think that's what's going on. A couple weeks ago, he said he's not a blood no more. So you're no blood in, no blood out.
Well, man, shit, I guess so. I mean,
yeah.
If you're not the blood in.
Yeah. He even said it doesn't serve him anymore. He said all his OGs are broke. Why am I hanging around with these niggas? I'm not misquoting him. You know what I mean? And he said it worked for me while I was in jail. You know what I'm saying? Literally saying, well, why didn't you just go with the whites? So he's probably informing when he was with the Bloods, which I never understood from the beginning. Like, who allowed him in? You see these white black gangster disciples,
I mean,
You're a
he,
white gangster
I'm just
disciple.
saying, did it happen? We don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090J.
See him stacking them?
And I'm rocking with y'all and y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on some prehistoric paperwork that hit the internet that I'm not even responsible for.
Yeah.
But I fact checked it. And in this video, we're going to be speaking on Larry Hoover identifying 2 rival gang members to police that shot him.
So this is a guy himself. When I first saw his platform, that was the first thing I was putting in the comments, and that's what they say perpetuates it. Like, bro, why you ain't never? Because I'll go through and see, are they talking about any white people or any Hispanics, anybody else?
Right.
Why do you think it's okay for you to expose dirty laundry in the black community and you never? Same thing, Vlad was doing that, but after the backlash came, they started trying to pivot a little, don't they, Self? You could tell it's just a token pivot.
Very token.
To avoid lawsuits or something. But that was my initial reaction to this dude, because he don't look like he's pro copper color.
Not at all.
Can we say trash?
He looks like an actor.
So did Trap Lord Ross, like somebody in disguise. You know, like a where undercover cop would be. You know what I mean?
Anybody say they've been in prison with that dude?
Yeah, he brings out, but again, you don't know who these people are.
Right, but I mean, I know people.
Nobody vouches for his stories. Nobody vouches for his stories.
Right, I mean, he talks to people that have been in other prisons mainly. Not anybody that's been in prison with him. You seen any videos with?
Nah, there's a Latino guy he brought on. He brought in a couple OGs, black guys, but they was probably never put on and they wasn't real old. So you don't know. Like you said earlier, he could have paid them, hey, come on my platform and say this. Like, we don't know. But there's nobody who can vouch that he was like that. You know what I'm saying? That he was putting work on in the street and none of that. So he feels safe enough to expose the copper color community for being snitches. I mean, Larry Hoover, for God's sakes. And that was a Chicago Tribune article he was going off of from 1967.
Right.
Do you know how racist the media and the pigs were in 1967?
Shit, when did he get shot? It was freshman year in high school?
Correct. And the dude who shot him literally said, Hoove did not snitch on me. Literally said it, Self. So allegedly it's like this. You're in high school, 2 ops come in there. One was like, yeah, burn him. They shot him in the leg. I don't think dude wanted to kill him. So the cops are asking you what happened. And what he said was, 2 cats came in here and shot me. Is that snitching?
You know it's not snitching. Snitching is when you do a crime with somebody and one person gets caught and then they tell on the person that got away. That's snitching.
Well, snitching was...
And this isn't even dry snitching.
Snitching was when you were part of the revolution and you were telling 12 what was going on in the back meetings before that.
Yeah.
So yeah, they changed the words. But I'm saying, like, Hoove didn't say no names. You know, good and well, Hoove didn't want the police to arrest those people because he probably wanted to find those guys. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Like I said, it wasn't even dry snitching.
No. But for this guy to come out there and his whole thing has been about, you got to have paperwork. You got to have paperwork. And they got paperwork on him snitching. And Go watch the video. And the way he talked around that, his whole platform should have been dead. But the fact that it wasn't should tell us all something about where those views and all that stuff's coming from. Come on.
Yeah, well, I don't even, I've seen a partial video from this guy, and that's all I've really ever seen. I've seen more on this episode than I wasn't even sure who that guy was. And I had a busy day, so I didn't get to research like I would like to.
I would suggest watch Point and Shoot. And I hope he don't change up on us. He's from Northern Cal, man. He's got some great content. He satirizes these goofies. And he'll give you the background. And he, like when you be saying, did he have somebody on the show? Point and Shoot be going on, but he said here, and then he'll have a video. You know what I'm saying? And they all trying to get his channel down. He be showing, he said this one day, and then he said that one day. Like he was talking about how he got into a knife fight in jail. And then and the little scratch he had on his face self, you know, and then later he said he did it to himself. So you know what I mean? So yeah, they're all liars and snitches, you know. But I was okay until he decided to go after Larry Hoover, bro. These young people have zero respect. You know, the man just get commuted, and then you start newspaper article self. You newspaper
CI.
was quoting the police.
He's
You
a
say what?
CI, bro.
Yeah. Watch
So
this.
my bitch really changed my mind about the.
This my boy Point and Shoot through air quotes. Point and Shoot be doing the imitations, bro. He calls himself the sheriff because he be on a ass, bro. He be on No Jumper, bro. He be on Whack 100. He be on, bro. His channel is blowing up and they hate him. All right, here we go. Point and Shoot.
So my bitch really changed my mind about the whole gangbanging thing, whatever. And people don't realize this, but I'm really starting to change my life for the better with my new bitch. And I'm singing country music now. I'm doing country stuff. I'm singing the music. I'm loving the. I spent my whole life getting it all wrong. But I sure could use your help just from now on. I want to be a good man. I do like I should, man. I want to be the kind of man that drops out of the bloods.
Oh shit.
It's true, man. This dude dropped out of the Bloods, bro. He got him a new girl, and she tell him she want him to dress more country, you know, basically be more white. And he eating it, he lapping it all up, bro. Man, he's being what he is. To your point, he's a confidential informant at minimum, an undercover cop at maximum, bro. Because I'm telling you, if you were to be a spook or a fed or a cop, they're not going to, they're going to tell you how to act and dress. You need your persona. You know what I'm saying? So, you can get the guy's trust. You know what I'm saying? And now he's pivoting. Self. He said, Point and Shoot be pointed out. Said he wanted to meet Marky Mark, another, we don't know what's in his heart. And Marky Mark's people that was afraid of him, and he said, and I went on my Instagram page and I see everybody wearing red. And I'm like, yeah. So I had, right, bro, what kind of gang member? Like, oh, man. Like you said, I don't know nothing about none of that stuff either. All right. Whack 100. I mean, come on, Self. Where are they getting these names from? And on one hand, you can say he's whacked 100 people. On the other half, you can say he's whack. And that's 100.
He ain't whack nobody.
Right.
You just take the one out of there.
All right, but here we go. Whack 100. So that, all right. So we did number 5 was Trap Laura Ross. Number 4 was DJ Academics. Number 3 was 1090 Jake, End of Sentence. Okay. Now we're getting into the number 2 culture vulture, TATN YouTube culture vulture. All right, top 5.
But one thing about Adam, I can't front. He gave a lot of people from the streets that was managing and rapping, and it may not have been working out for him, and gave them a platform and let them tap into his fan base and grow.
You think he would be saying this if he wasn't sitting there in no jumper and getting a check and having his own podcast with Adam right now? This is the stuff that bothers me about the copper color community. I need to find out what his name is, and I guarantee you he's probably
No. He's not. He's not. He's not
you're
from
right.
here.
You're right.
He's
I was about to say, yeah.
A tether.
Yeah. I can look at him and tell he's a tether, bro.
He's a tether.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were even able today to spin off and do their own thing. He's the only one that has done that in this podcast world. Nobody else has done that.
Definitely. So, okay, I saw this video that alleged that it was you involved in this crazy ass shootout. What was that situation?
Who in the world would bring somebody on their platform and ask this question?
Fed spooks.
There's no way in the world, Self, we could be talking to one of the guys on our platform and ask such a damn question.
We couldn't ask them. Hold on. We could not ask them out on the street, not on camera, any of that. We wouldn't.
Sure couldn't. Wouldn't. Sure wouldn't. Sure wouldn't. For fear, not fear, but it's,
I don't want to know.
Yes, it's inappropriate. Fact, we used to tell them that. Don't come around here talking about your shenanigans, your street shenanigans.
I don't want to know anything about it. Period. I don't want to, have any information that
have
I can
y'all
tell
saying
anybody.
And then, nine told. No. Set me up. Right.
So, okay, I saw this video that alleged that it was you involved in this crazy ass shootout. What was that situation?
The dude being interviewed,
he took the fifth for real.
And he really looks upset.
Yeah, pissed. Like what? He took the fifth. The real talk. This is how you supposed to act when you with the police.
100%. Bro, what's my man name? I can't think of his Ruger. Ruger got into it with Adam because they had discussed, and Adam said, I won't bring this up. It's like, Self, you say, I don't want to talk about this, I don't want to talk about that. And then we agree to it. And then we come out on the show and we interview somebody after they say, hey, I don't want to talk about this, I don't want to talk about that. And then you come right out there, platform. First question was about that, Self. And then they colored Ruger as being, this goon, like he had no right to be that mad.
Yeah. Same thing with that radio show with Cat Williams.
Yes.
They agreed to not talk about the stuff, and
Correct, bro.
It's ridiculous, man. It's like the man didn't just want to fight when he got there.
No. But they know what they're doing. They're doing it all for content. Wag 100 be saying it. He called it's content. That's content, baby. It ain't content, bro. These are people's lives.
Maybe it might not have been you. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even said yeah. Silent means silent.
I don't think it was me.
Okay. But
see, I don't think it was me. See that? That's a little something that 12 will use against you.
That wasn't related to any of the cases that you caught? Well played. Okay. So... yeah, I mean,
so
definitely.
Are they dressing it up, Self? Like, okay, you come to these platforms, who's using who around here, right? I might have a record or something coming out. I can come to Adam's platform. My numbers are going to go up. and he's gonna pay me X amount of dollars. It don't be a lot, you know, maybe 2-3 stacks, right? And that's why they're doing it. I guess so.
Yeah, some of them ain't even getting paid, bro. Everybody that come up there ain't getting paid. We talking about Adam, 22, but his name is Adam Ish something. Something
It is. It sure
I know.
is.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So everybody that come up there and getting paid. Like if you got a name.
What are you trying to say? He's cheap, true. You trying to say he's cheap?
All of them are, man. I mean, as far as these people that we're talking about. So I'm not just talking about him, act the dummy, and Whackademics, academic. Yeah, all of them. Whack. Everybody's on this list.
Hold on, because if we said we get in trouble. But if the
everybody's
if the other ish people say it, they can make money off of it. Here we go. I think this is well, I don't know if it's the same what you're saying, but here we go.
Ugh, my allergies and everything else. Just terrible. Choo, choo. All right, let's go. What should we leave for a tip? The food and service were both great. Give him the full 3%. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Choo, cheap, choo. This is why I hate going outside.
I'm not saying that's where the wordsmith was getting at. Hey man, they can get away with it, can't they, Self? Man, when I saw that, I damn near pissed my pants, bro. Yeah, we're gonna give him the full 3%.
Right. Wow.
Talking about his allergies and all that. Yeah. All right. That ain't right. God forgive me. I didn't make the content. It's just content, America.
God don't need to. Man, God is the greatest comedian, bro.
He's got to have the greatest.
The creator is the.
Yeah. I remember we saw that dude walking funny. We were on our way. We were Cavalier, prime of our athleticism, on our way to the gym. We saw this big dude walking funny with the back problem. Bro, I found myself walking like that when my back was messed up.
Man.
I just kissed it up to God. I was like, and I know there's some kid walking past right now. What, Self?
Look like, what the
Laughing
going on
at
with this guy? Look at him.
Yeah. Kiss it up to God. All right, hold on. Let's get back to where we were. Mark said, choo, cheap, cheap, choo, cheap, choo. Oh my God, bro. When I saw that,
The birds was on something, wasn't they?
Wasn't they? He was on his ass. That's why I don't like coming out. Yeah, but all right, Whack 100. This is what I'm talking about. Can't remember. All right, big facts. Adam 22 responds to allegations. Yeah, so Whack came out there, and he's helping people. And see, I think they're all cops putting cases on people, and they can be doing the good, right? We sit here on our perch. I mean, if a King Von was killing, all those people and blah blah blah, right? They could be doing good by our community. My question is, why don't y'all have platforms like this setting up the KKK? Why don't you bring some cops over there and have them talking about, some of those previous arrests and bringing up stuff? You know what I mean? So they could slip of the tongue and then you could put charges of them. Why not? That's all I'm saying.
That's not profitable for them.
Yeah. Wouldn't pay for itself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know the racist thing.
Where did that come from?
I feel like it mostly just comes from like,
That's Brick Baby. It was employed on his show. Used to run around with Dirk and him. Supposedly.
You ran around with Dirk?
He ain't from Shadow. He from LA.
No, he from I know who Brick Baby is.
Yeah.
He ran around with a dude that killed Nip too.
Yes. Makes you wonder. He's running around with Adam. And then he's in jail now. They
said a lot of dumb stuff on the air. For sure.
Yeah, but Adam's not in jail.
Oh, we know that and why, because it's not profitable. And the people that run the whole thing probably kept anything Adam said out of the video.
And he's compromised, and he probably got compromised with the allegations about him messing with underage girls, because they got people who come out Self who said, yeah, Adam used to hang out with us and we was only 17, you know what I mean? Guys saying that, and it's like he was messing around with the same girls we was messing around with, and like Adam knew how old they was. So, but they won't go arrest him like they would do Diddy.
Well, he might be down the line. We'll see.
Right. He's compromised.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know the racist thing.
Where did that come from?
I feel like it mostly just comes from like, oh, you're white and you interview a bunch of rappers, and sometimes you have like, challenging conversations with them. I feel like that label was kind of inevitable. But I feel like I just got to go out into the world and do the best content I can, have the best conversations I can, and just try to, just make the best shit that I can. And that's like the only thing that's gonna put space between people saying that. I feel like every day I go into work and just try to do the best shit I can to make the culture entertained and happy, and try to dip and dive around that shit.
Dip and was that a word salad? Did he ever say he's not racist? One more time, and then I want to hear you.
Yeah, I mean,
never.
The racist thing.
Where did that come from?
I feel like it.
And why is Brick Baby laughing?
Because it's some bullshit, and he know where it come from. She said where it come from, then he's smiling. Right.
Mostly just comes from like, oh, you're white and you interview a bunch of rappers, and sometimes you have like, challenging conversations with them. I feel like that label was kind of inevitable. But I feel like I just got to go out into the world and do the best content I can, have the best conversations I can, and just try to, just make the best shit that I can. And that's like the only thing that's gonna put space between people saying that. I feel like every day I go into work and just try to do the best shit I can to make the culture entertained and happy, and try to dip and dive around that shit.
He don't believe none of that. What's your take on what you just saw and heard?
It was a bunch of nonsense, and it was like a politician talking around. So you acquired and knew that you were going to acquire the racist
label
by interviewing a bunch of rappers and challenging them. That meant that you knew that. You never ever said I'm not a racist. Ever. You never ever.
He didn't even seem offended by the notion.
Well, I mean, he said I knew that I was going to get the moniker from during the interviews and challenging them. No, you're monetizing off of it. You're culture vulture.
Yeah, again, his platform started. He was like skateboarder, snowboarding scene. Nobody copper colored. He wasn't asking none of them about their crimes and the drugs they were doing and stuff like that. None of that was coming up. And then he pivoted to bringing in young Pookies and Ray Rays and asking them about street stuff. And he justifies it. He'll have Remo in there. He'll have like Remo's. I think he's part owner now. I don't know, but he'll have these brothers in there. A lot of them, all of them end up fired. Almost all of them end up fired. Because I think at some point either they can't stomach it anymore, or they just really they see something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
something that you and I would see in 5 minutes. We would see it in 5 minute conversation.
Can't unsee it and be like, oh.
Yeah. Because let me say this about cats in LA. Most cats, I'm not going to generalize. They don't see the R word necessarily the way we see it in Shy. It has to be blatant and in their face. Someone would literally have to come up and call them, you know what I mean, the N-word, and then they'll go all the way up. But up until then, stuff like the subtleties, these questions we're asking, a lot of them don't ask these questions, bro. Because you remember, what's his name was on the show? Well, no, that's coming up next with our next guest. I'm sorry. I mean, not our next guest, but the number one. Because there was a lot of copper coloreds on there. One of them from Shy that we went to U of I with. and they eventually couldn't stomach it no more and had to go do their own thing, bro.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into very shortly. But this dude is number 2 on our list. I think we might have one more video with this clown, in my opinion.
You've been scrutinized with this.
Oh no, that's it. All right, so number 2 was No Jumper, Adam 22. That was number 2. Now we're getting into the top culture vulture. And I wonder if you're basing this on views or if you're basing this on content. But here we go before you answer that.
You've been scrutinized with this, like, if you go to Vlad, you're going to jail. Right. At some point.
Or you're telling on yourself.
Or you're telling on yourself.
I mean, apart from the Keefe situation, I've never heard of that actually happening.
And he's a Russian-ish.
Yeah.
Probably mobbed up.
No. I'm sorry. He is. You're correct for where he's from or whatever, but he eats pork. He doesn't follow Judaism, so he's not even an ish person, as far as I'm concerned. It's not a racial category.
Yeah. Well, he's got a copper-colored. He's got a female zaddy. I mean, he's got a copper-colored wife.
So,
okay.
Scrutinized with this, like, if you go to Vlad, you're going to jail.
Right.
At some point.
Or you're telling on yourself.
Or you're telling on yourself.
I mean, apart from the Keefe situation, I've never heard of that actually happening.
Right.
Just to keep it 100.
Right.
Like, I've never heard of our stuff actually being used, an interview being used against someone in a case that they actually talked about. And in my rationale for the Keefe D interview was that he wrote a fucking book.
Right.
The time Pee Wee Longway thought DJ Vlad.
All right. So one of my first videos I saw with him was with her name was Mulatto at the time. Lil Mulatto was a rapper. And bro, I went on there and I told Vlad, "You wrong for this." I did, bro. And I said, and then somebody was in the comments like, "Well, that's her name," you know what I mean? I said, "Okay, so I can get somebody to call themselves Lil Jaime and bring them on my platform," you know what I'm saying, and put that right up in the title, Lil Jaime on the Self Luv Show today, and that's okay, bro. She changed her name, bro. I don't know if it was from my comment, but she went to Lotto, bro.
Right, it was a lot. She was mulatto for a while.
Yeah,
she was on first season of Rap something with
Dupree,
Jermaine Dupree. And she started getting some feedback, but she's actually mixed race, so you know what I mean.
But that term has never been. That's something that it's one of those negative terms the pink man put on you.
I'm not certain about anything anymore.
Yeah, I hear you, but supposedly that's what it is. Like okay,
I know that was part of the reclassification from.
It's like taking the power back,
American Indian to.
Yeah, it was the levels. Yeah.
So I mean, it is part of that, but they reclassified it so many times, so many ways.
Yeah, I worked with a dude. He was mulatto. And his name was Mike, and I called him Mike Mulatto. He pulled me to the side. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, don't say that shit.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, bro. Yeah. All right. Hold on. We got another one for this Vlad dude. Something happened that I didn't even know happened.
The time Pee Wee Longway thought DJ Vlad was a Fed.
Like, how old were you when you first started hustling?
I wasn't hustling, man.
He went to jail, got a major Fed case after going on Vlad. Vlad didn't mention him.
The time Pee Wee Longway thought DJ Vlad was a Fed.
Like, how old were you when you first started hustling?
I wasn't hustling, man. I was a school guy, man. Going to school, handling my business, man, you know?
You 100% legal? You were good?
Yeah.
Doing everything by the book?
Doing it by the book, man. Make sure it happens.
Okay.
I'd
like to apologize.
You see how he kept pushing that though?
Man, he always pushed it, bro. Now I have heard him tell somebody that was about to run their mouth off some. Hey, that's a pending thing. Don't say that. I have heard that, like in an interview that I watched.
Right, but he don't do it live. All that could have been cut. All that could have just been redacted.
Facts.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it could have left on the floor.
Correct.
Or he can turn everything they say that he don't put on the air to the police.
Ding, 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 ding. And that's what they did with No Jumper. They took his all his interviews on the DJ on Big U and all of them. Yes, they got all the stuff that's not been redacted. There was one when Brick Baby mentioned Big U, and then he was like, redact that. He told Vlad to redact it. I mean, not Vlad, but Adam 12 to redact it, but he didn't. And Adam's like, okay, I'll take care of it. And he didn't. Like, you know? And they sit them around and give them drinks, alcohol, whatever drugs they want. Put a couple of honey pots, girls around them, and they get them talking. They get their locks done fresh, don't they? They show up. I'm about to go big. You about to be famous. You about to be infamous and go straight to jail. Now, there was some big flack, Self, and I hadn't heard about this. I mean, I heard about the flack, but Godfrey and Lord Jamar.
Yeah, I knew all about that.
Yeah, they walked off. Yeah, I knew about that. They walked off the Vlad show because he put words in Honorable Minister Farrakhan's mouth that Minister Farrakhan never said. And when you listen to
he just said some shit that was just false.
It's a flat out lie.
Yes.
Even when you heard the quote, you're like, there's no way anyone should have been able to interpret this as anti-Semitic. Farrakhan's on record saying he's separating the pink Jews from the white Jews.
I don't think he even actually heard the quote. He listened straight from
one of the Jewish protective places, Anti-Defamation League of B'nai B'rith.
Yes. He took exactly their wording and said what he said.
Got a lot of feedback. Major platforms and major people of the culture were saying, Vlad, you owe this man an apology.
I mean, people that really contributed to his platform. I mean, Godfrey and Lord Jamar.
Come on, Lord Jamar gives a guy like that credibility. They're smart.
Man, they was on there for, a long time.
We got to get us a Jew. Get us a Jew on the show. You know what I mean? One of the Jewish. You know what I mean? On the show. And that'll give us credibility in the Jewish community.
Yeah, the Jewish. We can get those. But.
You know what I mean? Then we can go around and, my Jaime. What up, my Jaime? My Jaime. Tell you, bro, we got to start doing stuff like that. You know? So everybody can do this. I told you, bro, whenever anybody that's outside of my culture self, when they be trying to use the N-word around me, bro, I start dropping those words right around them. Like if it's Latinos, bro, I'll be hurting their heart. They like, but y'all say it. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you're talking about.
So what? Do y'all say?
Right. Self, I sure do.
We say it to each other. We don't say it.
That's right.
You, so yeah.
They be like, but the rapper said, I'm not a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't rapping.
I'm an MC. I
you know what I'm saying?
All types of things, but still.
Oh, don't come around me doing that stuff. I'll be on the
yeah.
Oh yeah.
What do you say?
I guarantee they be like, what up, my nigga? You got a problem with that? I ain't got no problem with that wetback. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no problem with that. Oh, you racist. Oh, okay. I thought we was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got no problem with it. Kike. You know what I'm saying? My kike. You know what I'm saying? And that's what, and that's what Kanye is saying. All right, but here we go.
We're not saying that, but he is.
I'd like to apologize to Minister Farrakhan.
This is what I didn't know.
Back in 2020.
Yeah, I knew that too.
I'd like to apologize to Minister Farrakhan for misquoting him back in 2020.
Oh, no. You gotta go, it's gotta go beyond that.
I know. All right, I'm gonna let it play. You're right, because he should have just left it at that. He should have just left it at that.
Yes, and it would have been fine. And if
Yeah.
you cut it to that, then you're doing a disservice because this
You're
son of a
right,
bitch,
bro.
this
You're
son of a
right.
bitch,
You're right. Oh
this
yeah,
son of a bitch.
he's another one. I don't like him. He's another one. What do you call him? A tether?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I don't like him at all.
I wasn't sure he was a tether.
Oh,
but
he's a tether.
Yeah, yeah. Now that you said it, I think that I remember his.
Yeah, he's a tether. That's why he be all big on, the immigration and all that. You don't know any Hughleys. That's some sort of, you know what I'm saying? All right, but here we go.
Period.
There you go.
No ifs, but, or anything else like that. Point blank, period. This is what I'm doing on your show.
Now that's honorable.
Thank you.
Now here come the lies, huh, Self? That's honorable. You should have left it at that.
That's honorable.
And also, let me just say,
and there you go. And he's gonna put that ish shit in there. The swine eating following the religion.
Yep.
this was not a decision based on pressure by anybody,
Of course it ain't, because y'all own all the media.
by financial duress. It's not like I have to do this in order to turn the company around. The company's been doing fine all these years. It's not because I'm trying to get to a certain guest and by doing this and so forth.
Yeah, yes.
No, there's no reason behind this except for it's the right thing to do. And I'm fully aware that a lot of people are going to hear this and say, your apology, it's too late. We're not going to accept it. Whatever. And that's fine, because this is not for those people.
See, we don't roll like that. If you'd gave a sincere apology, I don't think, do you know what I'm saying, Self? But that's how they are, man. They it's just funny. Certain people always want somebody to apologize, and then when they do wrong, it's the hardest thing in the world for them to do.
Yeah. Well, I know Lord Jamar said the shit was too late, so it wasn't no.
Well, I Lord Jamar, I mean,
I'm just
God
saying,
bless him.
Yeah, these are
he's an arrogant SOB in my opinion.
They cut to that. You know, what I mean, him and Godfrey, they not.
Yeah, it's not too late. If he's not dead and Farrakhan's not gone, it's not too late. I don't believe his notion that there's people he wanted to book who were telling him, I will not come on. Right. Like, say, for instance,
I
Kendrick
won't come
Lamar.
on your show.
Say, for instance, a Kendrick
I won't
Lamar.
come on your show.
Correct. Yeah.
Because you did that.
Yeah. I have to believe there's some artists. You know what I mean? Yep.
And
I have to believe
he didn't care that he lost Lord Jamar and Godfrey.
No.
I feel you.
Even if you look at the quality of artists he got after he made that mistake, it was different, wasn't it, bro? Your boy ain't even been on there as much. Boosie.
Oh shit, he was on there every day for a while.
He was, wasn't he?
He was like, baby,
paying me $10,000.
30,000. He said, I can go do some shows and all that, but shit, somebody might shoot or some shit ain't, I can go up there and sit up there and talk and 30,000 and shit.
Why they always be broke, bro?
Well, he is as far as I'm concerned, a street person that got a bunch of talent, and I think he's getting himself together now, but he was doing stuff to go to prison.
Yeah.
Like he been to prison, and so when he got out, shit, he said Cat Williams dropped down on him, man, called him out the blue. He was going to be in Baton Rouge and called him and told him to come to the show. And threw him 15, and when he left, he was leaving out. He said, hey, wait. And threw him, he said he thought it was some herb or something. He got in, it was $15,000 when he got out of prison.
Cat Williams.
Yeah.
Right.
He ain't asked for it back, none of that.
I'd like if Cat Williams had a platform like that. He owns everything. That'd be great. Cat Williams would be asking some real questions too, wouldn't he, bro?
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
When he go on other people's platforms, they be asking questions, and if you notice in his responses, he asked a lot of questions. Why don't such and such and this and do like that? Yeah.
Yeah. But he did apologize, and I wasn't aware of this. So, and that's suppression.
Yeah, I was aware that he did.
And he said he did it on Willie D's because Willie D's always been his friend, has been respectful. Why didn't he go on Lord Jamar and Godfrey's platform and apologize?
Because they stopped messing with him.
He's butthurt.
They cut him off. Like,
right. But if he'd have said, man, you know what? You guys were right. Let's fix it. Let's make it all right.
I don't think they believe him.
Godfrey didn't take his apology either?
No, he ain't been back on there.
Not back on there.
He mentioned his apology, and he said that he didn't, it was.
He don't think it was authentic.
He ain't been back on there, so that's what I took it as, really. And on his little what he said and how he acted was like.
Yeah, it's 1090 Jake-ish. It's all in all, it's just a lack of respect for culture.
Yeah.
Right. Let's take Larry Hoover. The man is 74 years old. GD 74. He's 74 years old, bro. He started the growth and development movement. You're talking about something from 1967. Farrakhan, bro. You know what I'm saying? In our culture, bro, like, you should have enough respect to be like, man, my bad. You know what I'm saying? I was wrong. Like, and the fact that you don't have that respect, you shouldn't even be dabbling in culture like this then.
Yeah, I mean, like, he should have when Godfrey and Lord Jamar asked him and said, hey, man, you said the wrong thing. It's clearly what he said, and it's clearly wrong. Right. You know what I mean? And he didn't. So this is a move for his financial means. It's not because it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do because it can help some people come to his platform.
I think you're right, because I think a Kendrick Lamar probably still wouldn't go on his platform based on that. What Kendrick is now, he probably go to a Copper Colors platform if he's going to do something like that.
Yeah, I don't really see him doing any of those platforms.
Yeah.
He's bigger than Vlad. There's even no need for him to go on Vlad. Really. There's no reason he needs to go there.
Yeah, Farrakhan's bigger than Vlad, no? Larry Hoover's bigger than the
Vlad had no reason mentioning the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's name out of his mouth.
Well, he doesn't like him.
Well, he's a pork eating Slavican. Where the fuck is this dude from? He's somewhere in Russia.
He's Russia. Yugoslavia, Slovenia, some shithole country. Let's move past.
I purposely never spoke about the Farrakhan thing. That you could talk to all these platforms that I've been on, whether it was Breakfast Club or Drink Champs or Math Hoffa or whoever else. I always said, I don't want to talk about the Farrakhan thing. Because when I did want to talk about it, I wanted to talk about it with you.
Are you believing any of this?
No.
I'm not either, bro. I'm sorry, but if he's lying, he's a damn good liar. And why did it take? He's got a copper colored wife. Why did it take so long for this to come out?
He's an actor. She told his motherfucking ass.
Mm-hmm.
She told his motherfucking ass.
It still took a long time.
Because you have actually been my friend. Like, when you compare, like, the number of hours we spent.
I hear you on Willie D, though, bro.
I don't know how you just gotta discredit us, but I'm gonna discredit us.
Yeah, he'll do that a lot.
You doing that, and that's
yeah,
discreditable.
yeah. The other dude too, the comedian. I was watching him for a minute. Eddie Griffin.
Oh yeah.
He's compromised, no?
I don't know if he's compromised. I think
Man.
he says some shit that he's brainwashed.
Yes.
So yeah, I
Misinformed.
guess compromised. Yeah, that's a perfect word.
I mean, he's either
okay. I was thinking about compromised by some political or some other thing. No, but some of the stuff and the way his opinion on it is,
man.
It's not my opinion. So I don't know if it's compromised, but I guess from my point of view, it take all types for this whole thing to run how it run.
It does.
And I'm
just saying he piles on.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. I'm learning more and more that I got to worry about what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, we all do. I'm just saying he piles on though.
Yes.
If he jumps right on the algorithm and piles right on, and it's rarely anything outside the narrative. But when he started, it was supposed to be stuff outside the narrative. But
no, it's, for me, it's something that's on the narrative, but most of it is outside of the narrative, and but it's
the
some
big
shit
stuff
that's
that
all
matters,
the way on.
Yes, it's not Cat Williams. Let's just say that.
Well, definitely not. It used to be.
Correct. Correct,
point.
bro. Yes, that's what I'm saying, bro. Yes. But see, eventually they start getting those sponsors, you know what I mean? And they start saying, man, this video did this did that, and I'm making this money, bro. That's got to be human nature. Greed. Greed's got to be human nature.
Some of it is independent and not, they doing content that people going to adhere to.
In front of a camera versus on the phone is not even close. Probably a 20-to-1 ratio. Like, we have spent hours and hours on the phone.
I tell you what he should do is get the Honorable Minister Farrakhan on his show and apologize to his face, and then they should have a conversation. That would be nice. If the Farrakhan won't show up, I don't know what his health is like. One of those ministers under him could show up.
He just like
that's content. It's Black culture.
Just like Arsenio.
Uh-huh.
When people told him that you have him on.
Yeah, there won't be no Arsenio show.
Right.
Number one show.
There will be no Vlad.
Yeah. Number one show to Arsenio was the number one show in America.
There will be no Vlad.
And not only that, Arsenio was suppressed after that. He made him a laughingstock.
Only person that kept him cracking and involved was Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, and he could only do so much.
He had him in his productions that he was in charge of.
Yeah. That was it.
Over the years, and you've always been 100% solid. You've never deviated. And yeah, you did boycott Vlad TV, but you never boycotted our friendship. I purposely never spoke. I'd like to apologize.
All right. So that
you've been scrutinized with.
So that was number one, Vlad TV. So what do you think about that list? You got any adjustments there? So Vlad is number one. No Jumpers number two.
Yeah, yep. I'm cool with that.
End of sentence. 1090 Jake, or you got DJ Academics or Trap Laura Ross. Would you put DJ Academics? Would you switch?
Yeah, I don't know these other people really. So Academy is
number three on your
list. Academics Academy.
Yeah,
is number three.
Okay, all right, and then I think Jake 1090 Jake would be number four, and Trap Laura Ross number five.
I can agree with that list.
Yeah. Trap Laura Ross, bro. Man, good content though. Let me tell you. I'm like, there's no way this dude is doing all this by himself, man. But he be working, bro. WAC 100 threatened him. Use it all for content. As soon as he got out of danger, use it all for content, bro.
He paying. Period. He's got a financier.
And all these guys be having top flight security. But 1090 Jake, if you're listening, one thing I can tell you about the GDs, man, you got cats who would crash out. They own, man, when you talk, What you're doing is really disrespecting the whole growth
you
and
don't-
development.
You don't even have to say anything to him. I wish you the best.
He hasn't posted anything since then.
I wish you the best, but
and your loved ones.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, they don't know how catch and shot get down, man. If they can't get to you, you know what I'm saying? And y'all posting, man, these cats weird doing. Yeah, good luck with that. And I told him, man, you should just put that video down and come out and apologize. I mean, it ain't worth it. You know,
I'm not telling him nothing. I'm worrying about me. I'm worrying about you, our growth and development, and how we elevate, and and that's all I can be concerned about. I can't be concerned about people that ain't here.
Well, that brings me to the next question.
Don't want to work.
Is ignoring the content, meaning not commenting, viewing, is that the best remedy, or does that perpetuate the situation? Why or why not?
Well, I don't know, because I can't control who else watches the content or does any of the things with it. I just know that it's not acceptable for my experience this time in the Matrix.
Yeah, and I see it both ways. I mean, the algorithm is saying, yeah, by watching it, you're promoting it, even if you comment negatively, you're helping these people get money, right? But then on the flip side of it is you come across this content and it's so egregious, bro. And then you look in the comments and everybody's like, yeah, that's it, that's it, that's it. You know, like there's people watching it who are of culture and they're ignorant and there's no balance. Is what I'm saying. Right?
I'm fortunate in that that content doesn't appear to me because of the so-called algorithm that I've set. And when it does, unless it's sent by you, I don't even see that stuff, bro. I literally had to, because of the crack team at TATN, do a little research to know something about not mainly the top 5, but
yeah, but I'm saying, man, if they're knocking down, like I remember, bro, I was finding content, I don't see it as much no more. They were tearing down Malcolm X, bro. And it's like, yeah, you can ignore it, but then if you ignore it, it could become a new history.
for the most part, it already is, man. When they eliminate books and make it all digital, they can write whatever the hell they want to write.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I'm rubbing my bum on the fence on this, bro. It's like having a lump and ignoring it. Do you know what I mean? And not going to the doctor, not getting it looked at.
I hear you what you're saying, especially along that point.
It's certain things,
like,
bro.
That stuff that these people are spewing, it no longer hits my algorithm. I don't see it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I have to look for it.
Right. Well, yeah, so I'm not necessarily talking about you specifically, but is that, I mean, like, for instance, people say drill music, like, yeah, just don't buy it, just don't listen to it. But then you don't know what your kids are listening to. You don't know what's in the culture, right? So then how can you educate?
Unfortunately, that's like how time goes. Like how our parents felt about rap music and how our children feel about
Trap.
drill music. And you know what I mean? It goes in a different direction, really. But it's all driven by a force that's made it mostly negative, bro.
Can culture vulturing ever be stopped, or is it an inevitability?
It can and will be stopped because there are gatekeepers that have put things in place for popular music, and popular music would not necessarily be what it is if it wasn't for the people that control the industry from the popularity point of view by
I mean, for
deciding.
years, black women were maligned for having big bums, and then now Kim Kardashian comes out. Now they're getting butt lifts and paying for it, and our lips were big, and then now people can get the lips filled, and this is all weird.
Really not. It's what has been going on
for centuries
since these people swindled us and gained control.
Yeah, centuries, bro. Cultural appropriation has existed for centuries, but increased awareness and digital accountability have made it harder for culture vultures to operate unchecked. While stopping it entirely may be unrealistic, reclaiming creative ownership, economic opportunities, and gatekeeping cultural narratives. That's what I'm saying. How can you gatekeep it if you don't know what the hell they're doing? Can shift the power balance. The conversation shouldn't be about calling people out. It should be about building systems that prevent appropriation from being more profitable than authenticity. Authenticity.
Well, we are ahead of the game in a lot of ways than we were from the past because the gatekeeping is still there, but as an independent, you can put out and market and get your own growth.
Yeah, you can.
Inside of what they're trying to do,
You sure can.
So there's a
You're
lot
saying like about you get 100,000 people to watch and share.
Yeah, there's a digital platform where if you can guide people to your space, they can't gatekeep you.
But if they're right, exactly. They're shadow banning, so you're not going to get any of that. But you're saying it goes back to how it's always been grassroots. We'd have to be standing out in the corner like, hey, man, hit this link, subscribe, because it ain't going to happen no other way.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to have to grow. You're going to have something that people want to hear.
Well,
you're going to have to spread
They want to hear us talk about Diddy's the devil and R. Kelly's the devil and black men are savages.
They don't want to hear us talk about that.
Well, that's what they want to hear.
I don't care about that part. They don't want to hear us talk about that. You got to talk about what they want to hear you talk about. And it can't just be, that's temporary. That trial ain't going to last forever.
Yeah, it makes sense. Trump already said he must have been listening to us. He said, yeah, I'm looking at it. He said he might pardon Diddy. Yeah, Diddy's good. He's like, he supported me. And, yeah, that Trump, wow, bro. He already talked about he might pardon Diddy and he ain't even been found guilty. All right. But outside the box, how can this be stopped? Now, this is not what I'm suggesting. There's a film called Inglourious Bastards and won all kind of awards. And there were people who put people like this to sleep. Okay. You guys can sit around and take it up the bum if you want. But
or did they disconnect them from the matrix?
Yeah. Yeah, they deleted them. Right. It's a great film, bro. They was going around killing Nazis, you know what I'm saying? And these people would be in different places, they'd be influential, kind of like
That's so ironic because dude is of German descent.
Correct. I'm saying, bro, yeah, I mean, outside the box, I mean, you hate to suggest violence, like you said, it takes us back a notch. But
Not gonna say that. I mean, you know, where
Yeah.
it's necessary and has to be, and it can't be anything else.
Can there not be some repercussion, accountability? What, we're gonna start maybe file lawsuits, report them, don't like the content, stuff like that,
bro.
thumb it down.
These people, man, no. At some point, enough is enough, and we're not gonna watch any 12 slowly delete someone in front of us.
Yeah, ultimately, right. It would come to a head. But again, the blame has to be on the people who are involved in it too, because there's a level of greed there, right? They want to go on these shows. At this point, they know what it is, right? It's like somebody who picks up a fentanyl pipe right now. They know what it is. They know what the long-term thing is. They say they want to dance with the devil, right? And they think they can outsmart the devil, and they go on these platforms, and they're going to be the one that it works out for. They all somehow believe that, bro. And when I tell you they end up dead, I could have told you, man, Lil Jeff, bro, I watched that on DJU TV. My mind was blown. They sat there and pulled out some pink powdery substance and did it right there on the platform and was talking about that guy was changed like
Tennessee Island, bro.
Yeah.
That's with all this internet and all these interviews and all that.
Yeah.
But it ain't funny no more because Mr. Rourke and Tattoo, they both dead.
The plane.
Yeah, they don't have the island. And you know, can't believe what you see because
Mr. Rourke retired rich, Tattoo retired poor, died poor. He had to do porn and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, he did. He had to do little person porn.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he did. He's on drugs. That's not surprising either.
I knew he was on drugs and all that. I didn't know he was doing porn.
Yeah, he was probably underpaid too. He wasn't getting paid the same
Well,
thing.
you get paid. You have the size, you get half the price.
Yeah, you only need half the food.
That's what they told him.
Yeah, you're not eating as much. You can get a smaller house. You need smaller land.
And actually, you only say about 5 or 6 lines the whole show.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
And the plane that's already recorded.
And what's his fantasy, boss?
Yes,
yeah. He says that too.
They can run that too. You don't have to say that every show because.
What's his fantasy, boss? That's what we should have. We're gonna sit down and do us a pod self. That's where the first thing when they come sit down. What's his fantasy? Self-love. You know what I mean? This guy, he's gonna go viral. It's gonna come out here and talk about all the street stuff that's going on and how many people he's killed. You know what I mean? And live to talk about it.
Nonsense.
All right, you got anything else to add, bro?
This has been a social experiment that's been, phenomenal. Excuse me. Conversations like this need to be had in our community. And we need to expand the conversation and grow as a people.
Facts. That is facts, bro. That is facts. All right, let's jump to the poll, bro. I don't think oh yeah, I did drop it in there. All right, y'all, we're about to give you the poll results. Your channel. All right, here we go. Who's the biggest culture vulture on YouTube? Adam 16. I meant to say Adam 22. No Jumper, aka Adam 12. Trap Laura Ross, aka MI6. 1090 Jake, I'm riding with you, you riding with me, aka Jake, or other. Okay. 0 have gone with Trap Lord Ross. Okay. Said he's not the biggest. He doesn't sit down and interview people and ask them those questions. What he does is he goes in and makes documentaries and calls them all murderers and puts all their crimes out there, lays it out there. 1090 Jake, end of sentence. We got 0% on 1090 Jake so far, aka Bobby Hill. You see, he looks like Bobby Hill. See that picture behind me? It's a lot like Bobby Hill. I got to get AI to put those tattoos on that face, and I'll post that on Twitter. And then other, drop comments. So, other, 67% have chosen other. All right. We got Tory Wordsmith in here. He said Academy, and then he said Vlad. So I don't know which one he's going with. He listed both of them. I meant to have Academy up here, though.
Right. They weren't on the list, so I just had to put them out there.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I meant to have Academy. But DJ Academy or Vlad? What DJ Academy or Vlad? Which one is your?
Vlad is the biggest. But Academy had to be,
For Chicago. Yeah. See, it's kind of different. He blazed Chicago. One thing about Vlad, he wasn't just, you know what I mean?
No, but he had a whole lot of people from Chicago.
Yeah, he had Duck on there a couple times. And then Duck got killed right after that, too. Yeah. Yep. Duck got killed after he went on Vlad. Rest up.
Thanks.
I'm with you, though, bro. I'm going with Vlad. I'm going with Vlad, too. And I would put No Jumper as number 2 behind Vlad, which I've done. And then Academics. Yeah, but Vlad's definitely number 1. So, but he did apologize. He apologized.
So what?
I mean, yeah, he apologized. Because it's more than Kyrie did. When Kyrie came out there and told people he's not anti-Semitic because they're not the Semites, allegedly.
No, he didn't say that they weren't. He said that he was.
Right.
Right.
So how can he be an anti-Semite?
Right.
Yeah. All right. The views expressed in today's podcast are those of the host and guests and are not necessarily reflective of TATN, any sponsors, or any affiliates.
Not at all.
Yeah. Yeah. We're just talking, having a little fun. The conversation around culture vultures isn't just about calling out individuals. It's about understanding the larger dynamics that allow them to exist and thrive. Digital spaces, especially YouTube, have blurred the lines between appreciation and exploitation, making it easy for, quote, influencers, end quote, to extract elements of copper culture for profit without any connection, without any accountability. And that's what I've been hinting towards, accountability. The cycle continues because these figures are often rewarded with visibility, engagement, and monetary success, leaving the bronze creators to navigate a system where their own culture is repackaged and then sold back to us at inflated rates. But this isn't just about blame. It's about examining the power of Black consciousness in shaping narratives and determine who gets to represent cultural trends. While some culture vultures may rise and fall, the broader question remains: how can copper-colored creators and audiences reclaim ownership of our cultural influence, whether through gatekeeping, active participation, or restructuring the way media platforms prioritize content? The ability to shift the conversation is in our hands, because at the end of the day, the more clicks those platforms are benefiting more than these culture vultures that we have just identified. Okay. This episode aimed to spark the conversation by breaking down some of the most prominent YouTube figures accused of culture vulturing and examining the mechanisms behind their success. By dissecting their strategy and broader media environment, we uncover the uncomfortable truth. Bronze culture continues to be the freaking blueprint, and those outside of it will always seek ways to capitalize on our energy, our life force, our creativity, our connection with Yah. So what's next? Will we continue to fuel the cycle, or will we redefine the rules of engagement? The answer isn't simple, but recognizing the pattern is the first step towards something different. It's time to take control of the narrative instead of letting the others write it for us. Stay curious, stay informed, stay aware, stay engaged. More importantly, stay true to yourself. Also, love yourself and everyone around you deeply, even the culture vultures. Remember, that's not what our culture can do for you, you SOBs, but what you can do for our culture. Silence is violence, and continue to question everything. Flex your right to remain silent. Rack up. The Self Love Show. This ain't Kansas, Toto. Peer down those rabbit holes. Do your own research, but use caution and discernment. Because oftentimes, when you stare into the abyss, well, the abyss will stare right back at you. Till next time, Yah willing, peace, self-love, honor, gratitude, and much respect. Midwest Festivals, Ancestral Echoes, Yah. It's going down 17 days. We got the day count.
Man, I guarantee the best experience of your life. Come on out. Experience greatness and the frequency of family and love.
Yeah, but I keep telling you, it's got to be your motto. You got to be there. Self-love and I, we can talk, until we're, brown in the face. It's like pink in the face. It's like trying to explain to someone what an apple tastes like. You know what I mean? Or what a good steak tastes like. I can talk to you, but you got to experience it. Steak. You got, you know what I
Be
mean?
there. There's nowhere around that.
Yeah.
You're not there, you'll never know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a feeling, and that feeling is awesome. And the guys put it together, and the ladies, they do a very professional job. It's proud of them. You know what I mean? They everything is there, y'all. I'm telling you, everything's clean. There's it's not gonna be a lack of porta potties. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be any of that. There's no flies flying around. Well, we did have flies, but we had those sticks.
It's a farm. It's a farm.
Yeah, but we had those sticks though.
They got
Bring those
horse
sticks.
rides. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's a farm. You got horse rides. They got fresh vegetables and all of that.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah.
But bring those torches, those tiki torches. That'd be one thing I'll tell you. Bring plenty of those tiki torches. That's all. You know what I mean? And at nighttime, they subsided. So yeah.
There was no issue overnight. That's for sure.
That's right. All right. Let's get to today's dome teaser, y'all. All right. So today's dome teaser is: I feast on trends, but none are mine. I mimic voices, steal the shine. I thrive in spaces I don't create, yet claim the crown. That Mark said, and seal my fate, bro. I was shocked that ChatGPT said that shit. ChatGPT know where I'm getting at. We need some accountability around here. All right, Self. Who am I?
Culture vulture.
That's right. Culture vulture. Yeah. Yeah. And to your point, the universe gets them all because I watch them all. They all start out small, and then the next thing you know, they know it. Something's in them. It's in a crawl. They start drinking heavily. They start gaining weight, bro. It always
what happens is something that is not regular with them blows up,
and
then they jump on that.
Yeah,
thing they were doing. Something happened that blew up that wasn't what they were doing, and they jumped on it and didn't care. They didn't look back.
Yeah, and all of them except for Vlad, because all content ain't good content. All of them except for Vlad, in my mind's eye, seem to be going down a negative, a dark tunnel. You know what I mean? Like whether it's abuse, drug abuse, they get caught up with these honeypots. No jumper, let somebody bang his wife. You know what I mean?
Vlad, I see him as, we don't know what's going on with him, but from the view, but he ain't no different. He will never apologize if it wasn't some negative impact
in that pocket. He just won't admit it.
He ain't gonna admit it.
Because otherwise, Willie D, I would have asked him, why did this, hey, we accept your apology, but why did you come to this all of a sudden then? If you didn't do it for those reasons, did you have a come to God moment?
He said that he waited till he got to Willie D. He said he didn't say it on these other platforms. That's what his whole thing, because you're a friend. And
so that's his lie.
Yeah,
I was gonna apologize the whole time. So why didn't he pick up the phone and call Willie D and go on Willie D's show a week after it blew up or the day after it blew up and apologize? These are the questions.
Some bullshit.
But I'm saying that would have been my question. What made
Willie
you
D's his friend, so he's not gonna ask that.
I'm not talking about him. And I'm saying that should be the question, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to sit here and tell me all the reasons why why you're not apologizing, what changed? Most people say, well, I talked to my wife, or, I kept getting this pressure and people I love was kept, something, bro.
That dude said it was the right thing to do. That's what he said. I mean,
right, but it was the right thing to do day one.
Right. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's all bullshit, and
right.
Willie D was going to help him with the bullshit because he's his friend.
His friend. So he went to a soft platform. I see what you're saying. But a friend would ask those questions, bro. I'd have had you on the show, bro. If it was you, I'd have been like, well, man, bro, because I know that if you're being contrite.
You would know what's going to be asked beforehand. You wouldn't just spring that on me on the air.
Right. But if you're being contrite, I know when you're being contrite. I would have already known what, correct, bro. You're right. Correct. Willie D should have already known what made him come to that from previous discussions, right? You know what I'm saying? Oh, Vlad, why to change the heart? Self-love, why to change the heart,
He already did know, but they wasn't for the air. They wasn't going to put it out on the air, bro.
I got reason to believe Vlad has people under his umbrella. I'm not saying Willie D is, but they have people that they help promote as long as they're like allies. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I think. Because Vlad went on DJ, it went on No Jumper.
Okay, just like Whack 100 was doing with Adam, saying, "Oh, he put people on, they did his own thing and all that."
Yes, and the Self, they were all on No Jumper, and they looked like they were trying to put Whack in jail. Vlad sat on there, trapped more Ross, DJ Academics flew in town. Whack 100 was on there. It was right after Big U and them went to jail, and they all were on one podcast together, bro. They had all the vultures in one room. Boy, that'd make a nice movie if somebody would have came in there and hit the button. Oh man, if somebody would have came in there.
The world is much different today.
Yeah.
We had some very crash bank, and man, internet is different today.
People would have learned some real lessons, bro. They would have learned some. Even other content creators been like, wait a minute. You know what I mean? I'm out here in the public just saying nonsense. All right. But next week, y'all, June 10th, Ancestral Echoes is in the building, sponsored by Midwest Festivals. We got a great show lined up for y'all, and really looking forward to it.
Gonna be an amazing presentation for the Self Love Nation. I can't wait, because y'all gonna really know by the end of the show.
And if you know
how it's
somebody,
gonna go.
yeah. And if you, again, you got the money and your timing isn't right, and sponsor somebody. Yeah, maybe we'll work on that. So sponsorships for people. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, sponsor somebody. You might want to help, but then you're saying, yeah, I can't be there. I got to go here, I got to go that. You know what I'm saying? Like sponsorship, somebody to go. You know what I'm saying? But I know y'all do got sponsorship packages, so we'll talk about that as well. That's another way you can support this endeavor so that they can keep this going, into perpetuity.
Absolutely.
Yeah. break bread, y'all. All right, then we got Spiley Tricks Sunday.
Going down.
Yeah, mouthpiece included. So
Don't forget your mouthpiece.
Yeah, you're gonna get the shadow side of 9 Mills. You come on there trolling. You're gonna see that shadow. I meditate on it every day, but it pops out. You know what I mean? It pops out. And then I ask God for forgiveness. It pops out. But yeah, it's an open panel. You can pull up. We talk politics and sports, mainly sports. But sometimes they can't be separated. So everybody's welcome to pull up. That's Sunday, and we do that show live as well. And man, keep saying I'm let me see. Go ahead, so pick up the sponsors. Hold on, give me a second. I want to find something for you for your final words here.
Yes, y'all. Don't stop. Self Love Show rocks on. Y'all know how the story go. We came to build, to make sure the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that we have can shield our foundation. Because we're starting with now to elevate this next generation. We're going to generate their power with our love.
I just can't hear it, man. Find you some tracks, bro. Get you something fresh, but I can't freaking hear it. I don't know how to turn the volume up. Go ahead, bro. My bad. You can't hear it at all, can you?
No.
Okay, I'm not sharing it. All right. I think I got something for you. Don't worry about it. You tell me. I'm gonna give you some options. Hold on, let me get back to it. That's why you can't hear it. Hell, I need to turn it down. Yeah, I got an opposite problem. Yeah, I need to turn it down. All right, I'll worry about this. Let's see, volume, copy link, volume. This shouldn't be that difficult. It's royalty-free music, bro. Man, they got some good stuff in here. I was mad. But damn. All right, we'll do it next. I got like Limitless right here.
Could have went with the first one. Turn that.
Oh, the first one. All right, but I got to figure out how to get the volume down, which I can't figure out right now. So that's all right. We'll have it ready for you next week. I promise you guys that'll be perfect because we'll have the show going. So we had the guys in here for Midwest Festival. So all right, this brings me to my personal favorite part of the whole shebang, and that's going to be Brother Word Smith's final words out there, 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 out there.
These culture vultures are devastating to the same. But we gotta slice them precise like a laser beam. Nothing about them is pristine. Reminiscent of crack fiend. Cause they get high off the dopamine from the bullshit that they put upon the scene.
Nice.
And they serve it to the fiends. It's like dope put upon the scene. If your consciousness is black, you're labeled as don't know how to act. Shit is dead, in fact. It's the only thing your mental can be less than temperamental for you to follow these people. Can't see it. Never could. Once they cross the line, I never go back. We never should. Been in this position for a long time and y'all straight up fishing. But I know, and I'm gonna make this admission, I don't give a fuck about what they trying to send us. I'm done with they soap opera. And these culture vultures have to be raised upon. They have to be let known what they doing is done. We need some vultures flying above, signing that it's an ending. Be truth with your words and careful what you speak. And you tethers better beware, because the weather is bleak. It's gonna be storms unless you get on code. That's enough about that story. Has been told. But we the people have no equal that we need to seek, yo. We decide what happens in this realm, not this so-called government. It's irrelevant. We have control and we're at the realm. That's why they guide us and lead us with their programming. Make sure that we are moving in the direction like cattle. But it's messed up because we need to be one controlling the cattle in the saddle. And they the cattle.
It's a demonic battle.
The demons can't win because we of the light. There is no sin. No guilty conscience. Don't pretend that in the end, we win.
Shah Mecca, holy city of wind.
No fear. That's why I grin. Words.
That was hot, bro. That was hot. Yeah, your boy... No Jumper, who said he wasn't a racist. He brought a white supremacist on his show. And
I never said he was no racist.
Right, never said he wasn't. Right. He brought he had a white supremacist, bringing white supremacy on the show itself. He ain't asking him about crimes and, so are you hanging black people? He ain't asking him nothing like that. And he had him debate a new employee. So he might as well, I don't know. He might as well have been debating Corch. You know what I'm saying on that stuff. And the dude was agreeing with him with a lot of the I'm like, nah. I could have got him somebody to debate. I'd have had him, what's my man name that wrote the book? Creamer. I'd have had Bernard Creamer in there debating his ass.
Yeah.
You know. Hey, Power, there's murking him. I could have murked him. I'll hurt their feelings. You been talking this racist shit to me, climbed around on all fours. Was in your bilge, bathing, living with the animals. All right, that's enough. All right.
Still got a tail.
Yeah, he's not gonna do that. Love y'all.
Honestly, I don't know. You know what that means? Latin means know thyself.
Time is now, my people. We must
Man, know thyself. I will eat the right foods that I
grow myself.
Cause the wrong way stole my health. I'm glad to be me now and nobody else.
Man, know thyself.
I will eat the right foods that I
grow myself.
Cause the wrong way stole
my health.
I'm glad to be me now and nobody else. Yo,
Bullets.
in the code, know the scriptures, potions and elixirs.
Come on, Karen. Bullets, a boomerang.
Stand your ground.
Murder is suicide.
Yeah, well, an eye for an eye.
Silence is violence.
See something, say something.
You want to be a slave? Vibrate greed. Ego. Fear. That's how they make you a slave. You end up in prison.
Okay. I know for sure, charity plus humility times love is freedom.
That's how you get out. Do not answer questions.
Question everything.
We've got two who can see.
Fear is cap. It's an illusion.
Yeah. Vibrate love.
See if you can hear it. You never die when you breathe in the Holy Spirit. Swine ain't divine, the people they won't go near it. Salad bar, spit it, not your avatar here to bring you back to God. Said it just like Master Far sent you. The end ain't always happy.
And forgiveness is love's supreme vibration.
So, do something charitable for a so-called enemy and end a beef.
Healthy people, heal thy people. That's a commandment.
Yeah, because hurt people, for sure, gonna try to hurt people.
Free Larry Hoover, man, like Big Meech.
Free Jeff Floyd.
Free all the guys, man.
Prison to slavery.
Check that 13th Amendment if you don't believe them. And be Yah. Walk on water.
Man. Move mountains.
Oh, Mountain Dew.
Yes, sir. Week by week, that mountain is getting weak. It's moving. Look at it.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Being the one is just like being in love. No one can tell you you're in love, you just know it. Through and through. Balls to bones.
Still got them, bro.
Got mine.
Same, man. Stop snitching on y'allself. Go to God. Take school seriously.
Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.